Okay. So this is the beginning of the Digital Design Techniques class. I've opened 10 minutes early. There we go. So we're gonna hang out a little bit until everyone shows up. Hi, Ellie. How you doing? All right, so I'm gonna be quiet a bit. If you're watching the recording, just skip forward while we wait for people to show up. I am and Patricia in. I'm Ali and Patricia were in my class that finished less than an hour ago. So welcome both of you guys as you walk in. I'm looking at some things I need to add to the Digital Design Techniques folder. So give me a sec. I just take this part off the recording. Show techniques, good stuff. Hi, Patricia.
Hi, Diana. Did you see my email that I sent, the pictures I sent?
Yes, I just saw that. So that's
Okay.
Great. Thank you. I didn't have a chance to look at your pictures, but I understand that you're working with the other Photoshop. I
Yes.
saw that you cut out someone's head really well. I haven't seen in detail. I just saw it as an email. I have to open it up, but it looks pretty good.
You know what?
Nice.
It's so, I don't have all the tools.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I wanted to get the other Photoshop, the one that you're using,
Mhm.
but I have these elements, and then it's pretty similar. I'm going to start with the not so complicated, and then go to the other one as more as I learn.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think Elements is good for when you want to do when you're learning, because you have the easy way to use it, the guided way to use it, and then the more professional way to use it. So it works. It's a little bit harder to know when I'm teaching you in one version where that exact same thing is in your version. But as long as you can figure that out, if now and then you want to share with me, or at the end of class, you can share with me and ask me some questions, I can point to you in your version what it looks like.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Diana.
You're welcome. So, hi, Andrea. Hi, Ellie.
How are you? Do we need one or two screens?
It depends on you. I usually explain that if you want to follow what I'm doing and you have half the screen occupied with Zoom and the other half, you have to have the programs open. It, depending on the size of your screen, that might be really small. And if you have another screen, it's easier to have one screen with the Zoom and one screen with the programs, or two separate computers, like a laptop or an iPad with a Zoom and then a computer with the programs or something like that. It's your choice. Do you have a possible second screen that you can open up?
Oh, definitely. Do you want me to be on Zoom on both computers, so in case we have to share?
If you have to share, thank you for speaking ahead. That's what I was saying. If you have, and I'm gonna tell everyone when everyone's here, but if you have two screens, you have to join on both, so that when I need you to share a screen, you can share either one of the two screens, right? So a bit. So yeah, let me say hi, because you guys know me, but there's two people who just joined us who do not know me yet. So I am seeing someone called Meili XOXOXO and Vega G. Hi, welcome. Come on in. What I need you guys to do, everyone, I'm seeing the two people I just mentioned. I need to know your first and last name so that I can find you on the roster so I can give you attendance. So for example, the person whose name is Maylee XOXOXO, I would have no idea who you are on the roster. So can you go ahead and go to the hover over the little video of yourself or the box that has your name, and you'll see that you get 3 little dots blue that you can click on, and then you can go down to rename and rename yourself with your name. And then that would help me. And I'm going to repeat this a bunch of times as people keep showing up. I need to at least see your last name so I can find you on the roster. Maybe I have 1, 2, or 3 different Veronicas, but if I have a Veronica Garcia and a Veronica Galicia, I still wouldn't know. So ideally you can write Galicia, even if it's V Galicia. After I know you well enough, then Veronica G is going to do it. But at first I need to be able to find you on the roster. Thank you so much, both of you guys. There we go. Hi, Anne. Haven't seen you in a while. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Hi, Meg. Meg just showed up. I'm just pointing out. I'm looking at the rosters to make sure that your names match. There we go. I see a Vavrinek. I see Maylee Moa. How do you pronounce that? Moa. Am I doing it okay? Give me a thumbs up or something.
Oh, it's actually Miley Moa.
Moa. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, where's the name from? Sounds.
It's Southeast Asian.
Southeast Asian. I like that.
Yeah.
Moa.
Thank you.
I see so many names. I kind of have a feeling for some of them, but I've never seen a Moa, so that's good enough. Which you saw my name, Musakio, M's and U's, they're kind of,
yeah.
So when I say my name Musakio, people hear Musakio and they go Japanese. And I'm like, no. They see the writing, they go Italian. I'm gonna go, yeah. And no one gets it right anyway. But the pronunciation is Musakio, which is, most people read it and say Musacchio because it's CH, but it's CCH. So yeah, up and down the roster, any problem that people have with names, I've had them. So if I ask you guys, it's out of respect to know how you like to be called, right? So anyway, that said, if you want me to call you, Meg instead of Megan or Margaret or whatever your name is, just let me know. Notice, by the way, like I'm noticing Meg that you wrote Meg, but in your roster, you're Megan. And just so you know, if you want people to know what to call you, there's a possibility in the pipeline for you guys to edit your personal information. And I can show it to you if you're interested, where you put your first name is Megan, what you want to be called, Meg, and then teachers know that. And like, it doesn't matter too much, but if it matters to you, because some people's names are Bill, but they want to be called Harold, then that would be a place to write it. So hi, everyone. You guys showed up early. Some of you guys have been in my classes before, so you know the drills, but some of you guys are new to me. So some people will be showing up now at 1, and some people will wait until 1:15 because I've been teaching a whole series of classes online since last March. I can't believe it, almost a year ago now. And there's some things that I want that I need you all to know. The first one was your names, which everyone has already fixed, so that's awesome. And then the second one is that there are some tools in Zoom that are going to help us communicate. When I'm sharing my screen or you're sharing your screen, we stop seeing each other. I still need sometimes for you guys to be able to say yay or nay or, maybe, or things like that. And so there's some tools that are really helpful. And if you have the latest version of Zoom, in my last email, I asked everyone to download the newest version of Zoom. So hopefully you did. There's tools that have been here all year. And then there was a version of Zoom in between that got rid of them. And then the latest one has them again. So if you don't have the latest version, you might not have what I'm showing you right now, in which case, let me know and I can tell you how else to do that. But anyway, hover over your window that is showing us, showing me and showing you. And there's two different ways that you can see the screen. You can see just me speaking, occupying the entire thing, or you can see us like Brady Bunch mode, where you see little squares of everyone. So to make that shift, if you go to the top right of your Zoom screen, you'll see that it says either view, and you can either choose speaker or gallery. So if you choose speaker, then you're seeing me and all my glory huge on your screen, and you're seeing a little strip of people at the top. If instead you choose gallery, then you can see all of us. That's fine, either one of those that you choose. But if I'm showing you something like in this class, everything I'll be showing you is on screen, so it doesn't matter too much. But say that you're in a yoga class, you want to see the teacher well, and you want to be on speaker mode, so it depends. I prefer seeing you all as gallery because as a teacher, I get to see you there. As far as video on or off, some people ask me on emails, you definitely don't have to have your screen on as a rule. You can choose what you want. So it's your choice. Now, let me tell you my preference, which you will not be dinged on or looked upon well or badly against, but as my preference, I much prefer seeing you, because then I feel like I'm talking to people instead of like to some ether, some vacuum of black boxes. As long as I have, like right now, 4 or 5 friendly faces smiling at me and others are not, just take turns, people who might want to be on, they have to, answer the phone or something and you don't want to be seen, turn your video off. Let someone else turn it on and then take turns like that. That's fine. What I hate is at some point when I get just black boxes, and that really becomes stressful for me as a teacher because I don't know how things are reaching there. So if you're okay with having your video on, that helps me. If you're not okay, I totally get it. Some people have 3 kids climbing on top of them, 2 cats, a bear. I get that. I totally understand. When I attend meetings, I choose one or the other too. Depending on the meeting and depending on the situation. So anyway, that's just all I'm going to say about having the videos on or off. Now, if you look, when you hover over your screen at Zoom, you have to kind of move your mouse for it to activate. And at the bottom, you see a whole bunch of tools. And at the far right of your tools, if you have your Zoom open wide enough, you should see something that says reactions, which is a bunch of little emojis. If you click on those reactions, and if you have them there, this is the latest version of Zoom. You will have a row on top that has little clap, a thumbs up, a heart, little smileys and stuff like that. And then you'll have a second row that says yes, no, green check mark, red check mark, slow, fast, raise hand. If you have that I'm showing you, you have the latest version of Zoom, you're fine. If you don't see that, if you just see a little strip of emojis and that's it, then by next week, try to update your Zoom version, okay? Because I'm going to use the yeses and the nos and the hands and stuff. And in the version that's not the latest one, when you click on these things, they just turn on and they turn off and they disappear. So when I'm trying to poll the class, you turn it on, someone else turns it on later, someone else turns it on later, and I can't get a grasp of there's 5 yeses and 5 nos. You know what I mean? The latest version, they stay open and you see 5 yeses, 5 nos. And so it really matters to me to be able to get gauge the whole class for you to be able to keep them on. All right. Now, just so you know, yeses and nos stay, but if you do any of the emojis, claps or thumbs up or stuff like that, they stay for like 5 seconds. I don't know how long they stay, and then they disappear. So if you said yes, thumbs up, and then I look at you and I go, hey, Patricia, can you answer? You go, you already did, but the thumbs up disappeared versus the yes stays, right? So anyway, that helps me. All right. So anyone who can't find those there where I said you could find them, or anyone wants to repeat where you should find them, let me know. Were you all able to find them there? Okay. Because if you don't have that version, then you have to find those somewhere else. So I can tell you where that somewhere else is. Okay, next thing. And I'm waiting a little bit on the introductions because I was waiting for everyone to show up. I'll do the original introductions at all, but as you saw in my email, I'm staggering people who are arriving. So I'm telling people some things, and then I'll do my official hellos and welcomes. A few more things I want you to know about Zoom. When you check into class, please check into the chat. So go and click on the chat, which you will find down there at the bottom again. You'll see from the left to right, you'll see mute, video, participants stuff, and then you'll see chat. When you click on chat, you turn it on and off. When you click on it, it'll pop up as a separate window, or it'll stay right there. And then you get to type in a little, hi, I'm here, whatever. I don't need a big welcome or anything. Or if you have something you want to tell me, tell me. But that's where you all need to check in, because that's a place where I can then check attendance, okay? So give me a little hi when you're there. Let me see. Some people who just joined us didn't hear, and I have a request at first until I get to know you. I see an Abby, hi Abby, and a Lisa W, hi Lisa W. Can you please add your last names so that I begin to have an idea of who you are, because I need to give you attendance on the roster. Abby, there's probably not many other Abby's, but there's gonna probably be other Lisas, but I'm looking at the roster and I don't see an Abby. So maybe your name, oh, there you go. Abigail is probably you. I'm assuming Abigail is Abby. Can you please hover over your video name, and then notice that on the right top, there's 3 little dots that appear. When you click on those 3 little dots, you'll see a menu that if you look somewhere in the middle, it'll say rename, and then you get your last name in there. Perfect. Now, great. And there's other people who don't have their names changed, but they're in so many of my classes, I already know their names. I'll get to know your guys very soon too, and then I won't have to ask you that, but it helps me at first. So let me see, a couple more things. Yeah, no need to apologize, Abby, at all. I'm just explaining the things that I need for things to work smoothly, and then I'll start with the class. These are just like the pre-class, the Zoom part of it, right? Then the other thing I need you to know is that at some point or another, invariably, I'll ask you to share your screen, because something won't be working for you. And instead of guessing, the easiest thing is for you to share the screen. So if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a big green button that says share screen. Well, only one person can share at a time. So if I'm sharing, I have to stop sharing, and then you can share your screen. When you press this big button, if it's the first time you've ever shared, there's another button you need to press afterwards. So if it's your first time sharing, you need to let me know, and I can kind of talk you through how to share. Now, it's not hard to share, but it's important that you do it. Everyone who is in my other classes here can attest to that. If you try to explain your problem and I try to guess your problem, it can take 10 minutes. If instead you share your screen, I see it in a total of 30 seconds, we figured it out, we move on, okay? So please don't be resistant when I say share your screen. It's the best tool we have for me to really kind of be over your shoulder and make sure that you're getting the work done. I have a motto. My teaching motto is, if I teach it, I want you to know it. I'm not going to run through 25 things and ask you to learn them and somehow figure them out. I'm going to run through 5 things and make sure that those 5 things you do know how to do really well. Okay, so that's my goal. Now, the next thing I want to say is that if you have the opportunity to sign in with a second computer or a tablet and a computer, or a Chromebook and a tablet, or whatever you're working with, it'll be easier, because then on one of them you can have Zoom, and on the other you can open up all the applications that we're going to use. Now, if you only have one screen, or if you have one computer with 2 screens, and that actually isn't hard to set up, you can go to any thrift store, buy any other second screen, and then plug it into your computer, and voila, you have 2 screens on one computer. I can help you with that if you ask me during break or after class. I can give you some ideas about that. But if you have only one screen, many of you do, and especially say it's a laptop and it's a smallish laptop, then you're going to have to share. Half your screen is going to be me talking and showing you stuff, and the other half has to be you doing stuff. This is a hands-on class where I'm going to be having you do stuff and learn to use these applications. So when we start working with sharing screens and stuff like that, I'm going to spend a little bit of time reminding you, those of you who are new to this and who haven't done it yet, I'll spend some time telling you how to put your Zoom halfway and put your programs in the other half. Okay. That's going to be one of the hardest things to learn. After that, it's all downhill. The rest is easy, but how to, split your screen in half is going to be the hardest. Now, you might notice if you look at the participants list that some people are showing up twice. If you look at names and if you go down to near the chat on the left, you see participants. You can turn that on and off. Again, you can turn it on and you'll see all the participants, and you can turn it off just by clicking one time, and it doesn't occupy so much space. That's because people are signing in with their second screen. And that's fine. If you have a second screen, make sure to also have your name on it so I know who's here. But you don't get double attendance. All right. So at this point, that's kind of the main Zoom and stuff information that I want to have. I have 3 more minutes before everyone else who's going to show up comes in, because I asked everyone else to show up at 1:15. But those who show up at 1:15 are the people who know me. So now I'm going to go with my introduction, because showing up at 1:15, you've been in my classes before. So hi, everyone. I'm Diana. Hi, thank you, Pilar, for waving back. I've been talking for a while, but this is my official hello. I'm Diana Musacchio, and I'm so excited to be teaching this class. Schedules got kind of confused, and instead of Photoshop that I was going to teach, we ended up putting in a Digital Design Techniques class. And since it wasn't on the catalog, really only those of you who either know me or somehow know how to search the catalog managed to find it. So I'm really happy that there are so many new people here. Normally, when I'm the only one who knows about it, only my past students are here. But I see a lot of new faces, so that's really cool. New blood. Now I'm teaching Photoshop also and Illustrator right now, and this class, and I'll be teaching another Illustrator and another Photoshop class a little bit later. The second Photoshop class isn't advertised yet. It's not on the catalog. It'll be there shortly, but I do have another Illustrator class coming up soon that I'll tell you about. So that those of you for whom this is your first introduction to these classes, then maybe you can get deeper into these other programs by taking these other classes. So I've been teaching, oh God, I'm not good at math, 24 years by now here at City College, basically since I graduated. I do a bunch of other stuff. I'm a professional photographer. I'm from Argentina, and I studied graphic design in Argentina at the university. And then I came here to Santa Barbara to go to Brooks, which is a Brooks Institute of Photography in its time, one of the best photography schools. And it closed a couple of years ago. But anyway, so that's my educational background is in photography and graphic design. But as I was at school, in those years, it's when all of the graphics on computer were beginning. So even though I still processed my photos with liquids and all that, I was already designing with the first versions of Photoshop 1. And Quark Express at that point was what's now InDesign and stuff like that. So and so I began helping out in the tutoring lab at the computer lab at the Brooks lab, which was in its beginning shapes. And I went straight from tutoring after graduating into teaching. And although I've always been professionally designing and doing all my work on the outsides, I've been on and off teaching for years and years here at this school, and I love teaching. So one of the things about this class, and it's now 1:15, so hopefully everyone else will be popping in. This class in particular is part of a certificate, and the certificate, which, get me wrong here, I think it's called the Digital Design Certificate. I think that's the name of the certificate that you get if you take the 2 versions of Photoshop. I think we have Photoshop and Photoshop for digital photographers, and then we have Digital Design Techniques and Illustrator, and I think there's one more, Dreamweaver. Those are all classes you can take. You have to take 4 of them to get the certificate. So if you're more interested in knowing about certificates, I can lead you more in that direction. But the important thing for you to know is that this class, the Digital Design Techniques one, is the one that kind of gives you the overall view for all the rest of them. If you just take Illustrator, you learn how you Illustrator. Photoshop, you learn how you Photoshop. There's one missing class that I'm constantly trying to get into the thing, and I'm thinking I'll be successful in about a year. I think we'll finally get just an InDesign class. InDesign is the one that we don't have a specific class for. InDesign is one, this is the one class that you're going to learn InDesign in. So I'm going to focus a lot on InDesign, and let me explain a little more about what it is. But all of these programs that I'm mentioning are part of the Creative Cloud, the Adobe Creative Cloud. And Photoshop is, all these classes overlap quite a bit. All these applications overlap quite a bit, sorry. But they do have a very specific thing that if you want stereotyping them that they do. So I'm going to stereotype them, and I'm going to say that Photoshop works with existing photographs. Illustrator is where you create things from scratch that don't exist. There's also, you know, different type, those are different type of files that you create, you know, pixel versus vector. We'll get into that a bit later. And then InDesign is the program where you put these things together. So it's a layout program. So you lay out how your brochure is going to be. You lay out your 50-page photography book. You lay out your poster. You create the structure for it in InDesign. And then you bring into that the photograph that you created and, you know, made much better looking in Photoshop, or the collage that you created, the composite that you created. Then you bring in the logo that you design in Illustrator. You add some text that you create in InDesign. So by the time you're done, you get your finished piece. Okay. So this class is going to focus on how to combine all these programs and what's the best use of each of these programs and how to get to a finished piece. And it'll be print pieces, and it'll also be pieces that go on, that are going to be online. So it's a bit of a how to make everything kind of work. How do things actually, you know, what's the final step? So with that basic introduction of what it is that you're going to learn here, I want to have an idea from you guys, and then we're going to get into programs and all that. So if you have questions about the applications themselves, hold those questions until I get the question. I want you guys to tell me right now is, what are you doing with your life, so to say, not with your life, but with your computer technology life? Why are you taking this class? Like, what do you want to learn? And here's the thing. Some of you have a business going, and you discovered that hiring someone to do all your marketing materials is really expensive. You want to learn it yourself. Some of you have a book you're putting together. Some of you just want to learn because you want to learn. Some of you have no job and are doing the certificate to get a better job. Like, give me an idea. And if there's some particular project you're up to, I want to know that, because what I like to do is know what projects you're up to. And then when I give examples, I'll go, so Patricia, for example, for your book, right? And because she told me she's working on a book. Or, hey, you know, Pilar, for your, you know, marketing on the website for the music, what's the institute? I don't remember the exact name of it. The string orchestra?
Santa Barbara Strings, but it's
Santa
children.
Barbara Strings Children. So everyone, or Andrea with her, you know, real estate calendars and marketing that she does. So if I know a bit of what you're up to, then I can be more helpful to your personal projects. But in class, we won't be doing personal projects. We'll be working with stuff that I'll give you, and we'll all work together, because it's too hard over online. I can't see what you're working on. So we're all going to be working on the same piece, learning the techniques, and then you get to apply them to your own pieces. Ask me questions, send me emails, show me stuff. So that's the general idea. So now I want you guys to share with me what you're up to. Just want to learn, or a specific project? Who wants to start?
I can start.
Yes, Alan.
I just want to learn, but basically I have a full-time hobby, which is filmmaking, video editing, especially, and Photoshop I use quite a lot as an adjunct, and I'm open to learning, broadening my horizons and learning some new things.
So cool. You know, I'm getting excited about beginning to teach some editing classes too. I do quite a bit of video editing myself, and more so because my son is heavily into film, and in order to be part and helpful with his projects, he's been getting bazillions of awards and stuff galore. It's very exciting, but he knows way more than me at this point. But I've had to do so much editing at this point that I'm thinking I'm gonna teach a video editing class because it's so cool. Which, by the way, and I just want to speak to what Alan said, the suite of programs that we're going to be using to do this, which I talked about, InDesign, Photoshop, and Illustrator, is what I'm going to focus on. Adobe, they're Adobe programs, and Adobe Premiere, which edits video, is part of that too. And Adobe Dreamweaver that does websites, and Adobe Rush that does a easier version of editing. Adobe Audit, as you know, music editing. There's just about anything in the world of media you can create using this Adobe suite. So we're focusing on these programs, but by having these, and I'll teach you how to get them if you want them, you can do so much more than just what we're going to do. We're just grabbing one little part of the Adobe suite to learn. But once you learn one, you can move forward more easily with the rest, right? It's like the learning curve becomes much lower.
What I'm really trying to learn is Adobe After Effects, which is not, no courses available on it.
Adobe After Effects, things, whenever people say something that works for the whole class, I kind of help it. Just so you know, because you're students, City College students, you have access to all for free of all of the LinkedIn Learning's lynda.com videos. And there's some great Adobe After Effects videos on LinkedIn Learning that my son is doing amazing effects that he learned through lynda.com, LinkedIn Learning. So I'll point, in my handouts, I have a way to tell you how to get to these programs. So to these tutorials. So anything you want to learn that we don't teach, you can help yourself to those tutorials. All right, thanks, Alan. Anyone else? Yeah, Pilar.
Hi, Deanna.
Hi.
I work part-time for a children's string orchestra, and I do their website. You know all this, and
that's great.
I get photos from various people. So sometimes they're really crummy, and sometimes they're good. But that'd be good to. As you know, I need to sometimes edit them.
Mm-hmm.
And then their logo is pretty lacking, and someday I would love to revamp it.
Yeah.
But I did want to say they had a poster that was done with Adobe Illustrator, and I was able to modify it. So that was
great.
really cool with Illustrator. And I'm like, oh my God. So at least I'm starting to do that. And then my latest hobby is I'm in charge of the local kennel club monthly newsletter. And again, I got photos, and I'm learning InDesign, but I could definitely learn more. So thank you for having the class.
You're welcome. I just wanted to say Pilar has been in quite a few of my classes. She's done Illustrator and Photoshop and DigitalDesignTechniques. And so one of the things that happens is that taking the class again and again, which some of you have here or there over the years, or just over one session, taken a few of them, is really useful because your projects change, right? And like at one point you discover, oh, I can use more Illustrator for this one. And another one you discover, oh, I can use more InDesign for that one. And so then you focus the learning that you're doing in the class towards what you need most, right? So that's cool. Thank you. Hi, Justine. Although you do show up as Greg Otero, but
I know, sorry, I'll change that.
It's fine. Nice to see you. So especially if you have not been in one of my classes before, or if you're up to something new or different that I don't know, I'd love to hear what you are here to learn. And you missed the main intro, Justine, but right now I'm asking people to share with me if they have a project they're up to in particular. Yeah.
Oh, so you want to hear that from me?
Well, if you want to go, no, everyone has to speak. I'm not just you. But
no, I thought you said I'd missed the intro, so I thought you were telling me.
No, I'm just giving you the 2-sentence version of the intro, okay. and what it is that we're up to. But if you want to share, you're welcome to share. Otherwise, I'd love to hear.
I don't have a particular project, but I am going to be setting up a website for my new business. Mm-hmm. So I love the idea of being able to do graphics and design kind of things for that and other marketing.
That's great.
Yeah.
In the summer, I usually focus on all of the web classes. So all of the web design classes I teach usually over the summer. I don't have the actual schedule for my summer yet, but if anyone is interested in web design, we're going to learn how to do some of the stuff here going to screen, but it's not the same as actually how to set up websites. So we can do that later. So anyone else wants to, you don't have to share, but if you have anything else you're up to, if you want to write it in the chat, go ahead and do that. And everyone remember to check into the chat. Anyone else? Yes, Anne? Oh, I can't hear you. You need to unlock your sound. Your sound, you're muted.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, mostly personal, but I've been doing calendars for the family for the last several years, and each family has different pictures that I put in. And
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Great use. I maybe you heard this before, but until my mother-in-law passed away, every year I'd make a calendar focused on the things she would like. And then for my mother, so the two mothers-in-laws, the calendar for the photos that she would like most, you know, with the kids and whatever. And ever since my mother-in-law passed away, I stopped doing it, and I certainly miss it. So thanks for reminding me. I got to start doing that again. All right. Anyone else who wants to give me an idea of what they're up to? Yeah, Abby.
I'm mostly interested in the InDesign, although I am getting rusty on all of the programs. I feel like as I age, I can't keep up with them all. But I used to use Quark, and I finally made the switch, and I've been really hesitant to actually learn it as well as I knew Quark. And so I decided a class would give me the gas to do it. So
that's great. It took me forever. I used Quark for years professionally. And you know, when you use something for years, you get so accustomed to all of its quirks and what works and what doesn't and all the shortcuts. And then we all kind of had to switch professionally, pretty much adopt InDesign. And at first it was a harsh switch, but once you get over that, it just meshes so much better with all of the Adobe world that, yeah, but I'll help you. I'll help you if you have questions about the transition. So yeah, Andrea, not Pighetti, but Andrea Chu, because you raised your hand. Yeah.
Hi, yes, I am part of a student chapter in my university, and we have a lot of events, talks. So I was looking forward to learn how to do posters.
Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. What university are you here in Santa Barbara, or you're from? I wanted to say one of the cool things about classes online is that we're having people from all over now. Before you could count, it was like UCSB, you know, if it was university, or Westmont or something. And now it's like, yeah, I don't know, you're way out there. So cool. If you guys want to share where you're from, I love to know to know. Okay. Yeah, perfect. The techniques you're going to learn are going to help you know things like posters or like brochure. It doesn't matter if it's a poster, if it's a brochure, or if it's a book. The tools and the techniques are the same, right? But if you have specific questions when I'm doing something, go, how would I apply this to a poster? Then now I know to tell you, or I'll remember, or you remind me and go, would this work for a poster too? And I'll go, yeah, you know, so it's really good to know what you're up to. Cool. Flyers, probably handouts, or even how to have a little add on a web page for the school web page telling people to go to the event, you know. The reason I'm saying that to her is because a lot of the times when we create a product now, we don't just create it for one source. Usually if you make something, you're probably going to want to maybe also put it on social media, or you're going to want to post it somewhere online and a blog, and to maybe make a little postcard or a flyer or a poster of it, right? So there's this need to be able to use the same elements in different ways. And that's one of the keys of this class, to show you how to use these elements in different ways. So, okay, unless someone else has something else that we haven't heard yet that you want to share, I'll continue. Okay, so yeah. Oh, cool. Meg's saying that you learned about the class through Facebook. Very cool. All right. So yeah, Meg says she's from New York. So Awesome. Yeah, the other day I had someone from Italy in one of my classes, and some people were attending from, well, one of my students who has come to my classes before, she's from Brazil, and she had actually traveled to Brazil. So she was joining me from Brazil, you know, so pretty cool. All right. Let's find out how many of you go. Okay, you need to make a handbill with art on it. Cool. So if you want to, like Lizzie said, you want to go in and write in the chat what you're up to, and you don't have to, like, you know, share, but you can write it in the chat. That would be awesome too. Then I'll get your message. All right. So here's the thing. As exciting as it is to hear all your projects, and as exciting it is to get going with the programs, the first day of class, which is today, the first big portion of today, will be about figuring out how to learn all these programs in an online course where you're also seeing me online, and you have to open these programs, and half of you have the programs, the other half don't have the programs. Half of you are on a Mac, half of you are on a PC. So there's that whole conversation, as half of you, maybe some of you are on a Chromebook or on a pad. So those of you who already know this well, and some of you guys are taking currently 2 or 3 of my classes and know exactly how to find the handouts, how to find the programs, how to open VDI and all that kind of stuff, then you're welcome to kind of tune out, turn your video off, go and do your thing and keep an ear in. It will take me at least an hour. It depends on the class level and how many or more to get to the place where we actually can begin to use the programs. Okay. So the rest of you, don't worry. It's the process. It's explaining to you how to actually work the class before we can actually start working with the program. So you guys know who I'm talking to. If this applies to you, then you're welcome to hang out and wait. For those of you, definitely, if you're new to any of my classes, or to even if you've taken someone else's Zoom class, how we each and where we each put our stuff and how we each give our handouts and everything is different. So please hang on, and we're going to work on that. But before anyone else decides to leave and not pay attention, I want to have a bit of an overview. How many of you guys own the latest version? So the subscription, not an old version, but the actual subscription to the Adobe Creative Cloud. If you have an Adobe Creative current subscription, please raise your hand. And for that, I mean, go to the tool that the one that has the reactions tools, where you raise your hand, and that one stays on. Okay, so give me a little raised hand, and then that will stay on, and everyone who's on raised hand will bump up to the top, and that way I kind of begin to see who's in the class. So the thumbs up disappears pretty soon, Alan, so go and give me a raised hand. That one stays up. All right. If you don't see the raised hand in your emojis, then that means you have the older version of Zoom, and you have to raise your hand going to the participants, and down in the bottom of the participants, you'll see a little blue hand that you can raise. Okay, so if you don't see a raised hand on your emojis, then you have to find it somewhere else. And I can help you with that if you need that. But when I make these kind of questions, I need everyone to answer, because I'm really trying to get a good gauge of what's happening in the class. Those of you who already own subscriptions to the programs, which right now have raised their hands, then when you're in person, I can support you with older versions of Photoshop or Illustrator or stuff like that. But here that I can't see you, you really need to be able to have the same thing I'm doing, because then I'll show you something and then you can do exactly the same thing. So for those of you who do not have the programs, or who have an older version of the programs, then the way to access them is through something called VDI. So the school has a setup with this company where we sign in to through the web browser. So I'm going to show you all how to do this. We go into a web browser, we type this in, we sign in, And next thing you know, you are allowed onto a computer that's really a school computer that has all the programs we need. And we call this VDI. I'm trying to virtual desktop interface. I was trying to blank for a second on VDI, virtual desktop interface. And so I'm gonna, most of the class seems to not have the programs. As I'm looking right now, I'm seeing that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 have them. And the other group doesn't, although Pilar, you said you can't have, you're raising your hand. So about 6 of you guys have them and the rest of you guys don't. So most of you guys are gonna have to access the program through VDI. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. I also have a video recorded with the steps that I'm gonna send you the link to as homework. And yes, you're beginning to get homework. Your first homework, for those of you who've never used VDI, so look at your chat, I'm writing your homework.
Oh, thank you.
You have to access your VDI
I took a picture of myself.
at least
So it looks like I'm
10
live.
times. Alan,
Really clever.
someone needs
I was
to
visible
mute
before because
themselves.
I had to speak.
There we go. I muted Alan. I recognize his voice, but if you're talking to someone else, right? So access your VDI list 10 times this week. So what happens is that I'll teach you all how to do it. And then next class at 1 p.m., if you haven't practiced 10 times and the whole class is ready to go, and then those of you who haven't practiced, it might take you half an hour to get something right that might only take 3 minutes, right? To get, so I need you guys to practice, practice, practice. This isn't in Design, Illustrator, or Photoshop, but this is the way to access the programs. So you have to practice so that you're an expert. And by next Friday at 1 p.m., everyone is raring to go with the programs open, ready to start working. And to do that, you need to learn how to access your VDI. Also, you have to access your Google Drive file stream. So that's it. So that's all one thing. And this is only for people who do not have the, so this is only if you do not own a Creative Cloud subscription. And there's a typo there, but it doesn't matter. I'll send it to. So all of this is if you do not own a Creative Cloud subscription, then you need to take that on seriously so that you're all on, like right on the bat at the beginning of class next week. Now, Plan B, you might want to purchase a Creative Cloud subscription. If so, if you're a regular person, it's like $50 a month. If you're a regular student, it's like $29 a month. But if you're a student who has me as a teacher who knows how to tell you where to really go, then you can pay $80 a year or $40 for 6 months to get the Creative Cloud subscription. So I'll show you that too. And then you can choose whether you want to purchase a subscription and have the programs or keep doing it through VDI. Either way, I'm going to be showing things through VDI every single time because there's always going to be 2 to 7 to 10 people on VDI. So my demos will always be on VDI so that everyone knows how to get the files and approach the files. So if you are interested in learning and buying the subscription and you don't need to do it at all, then you need to go to collegebuys.org. Hold on. There's the website, collegebuys.org. And it's a website put together by a conglomerate of California community colleges. And they give you access for these really cheap prices. So it's $40 for 6 months or $80 for a year for the entire Creative Cloud subscription. Now, Jennifer asked, what's the latest version? When you buy the subscription, you always have the latest version. And that is, in this case, the Creative Cloud versions are 2021. Some programs are still in the 2020 version. The transition to 2021 is happening right now. So there's still some 2020 programs. Some haven't been updated since 2019. Most of the programs we're going to be using already have a 2021 version. And we're going to be using the 2021 version on VDI. If you own a subscription and you still are using an older version, you can update just because you own the subscription, or you might want to stay on your old version because you feel more comfortable. But then since you're in class, take advantage of being in class to ask the questions and see if you dare move up, because the changes when you move up gradually are not that big. But when you jump from 2018 to 2021, there's enough changes there. It's better to keep updated. It's not like in the past where you bought an old version, you stuck with the old version and you had to keep it for 7 years until you can afford another $3,000 for the new version. Now you don't pay that much, but you can pay a subscription, which when you're not a student can be very it's expensive, but at least it's affordable versus when you had to put down $3,000 or $4,000 at once to get all these programs. So there's the good and the bad of it. By the way, Frank was in my class this morning, and yes, that cat filter she has there when she talks, it is the one of the lawyer version. Her mouth kind of goes, wah, wah, wah. It's kind of funny, very funny, not kind of funny, it's very funny. So if anyone knows what we're talking about, the little lawyer who had the cat. Yes, exactly. Prang is not a cat. All right. Come on, Prang, say something so we can see the mouth move. Say hello. It's not
Hello.
There you go.
Do you see me?
Yes, I see.
I'm here live, but I'm not a cat.
Very cool. I want to know where to get that filter. All right. Thank you, Prang, for giving us some smiles. So anyway, collegebuys.org. And I'll demonstrate it in a few minutes when I share my screen, but that's where you would get the only place where you can get cheaper prices, because the regular price going through adobe.com for a student is $29.99. So there's one key thing to get the student price, and that is you have to use your pipeline email address. So whatever your username is, your pipeline username at pipeline.sbcc.edu that I just typed up there, that's your email address. So if you have a pipeline username that you need to know in order to access all of the class and VDI and the handouts and everything, you need to know it. And at pipeline.sbcc.edu, that's it. So when you go buy your software, if you're going to do that, you don't have to for the class, but if you do not use your Gmail or your Cox or any of those. Just use your pipeline email address, because then they confirm that you're a student and then they give you the student price and yada yada. Okay, because they're going to ask you what college do you go to, Santa Barbara City College. Yada. It's only for Santa Barbara, for City College and community college students in California that can access this price. All right. Okay. I'm going to clear your raised hands now, because now I'm going to ask a second question, which is, how many of you guys are Mac users? If you're a Mac user, then give me a yes. If you're a PC user, give me a no, which I know isn't make much sense, but that gives me half of you going one way and half of you going the other way. So Mac is yes, PC is no. So on the emojis, the no is the little cross, red cross, and the yes, of course, is a green check mark. Give me a yes and a no, so that I can see who's Mac and who's PC. All right. So that's the problem. If you don't have this is the problem. If you don't have the latest version of Zoom, you see how all the yeses are disappearing. I don't know if you guys could see the yeses or the nos. They don't stay. You need to have the latest version of Zoom for these things used to stay. They were fine up until November, and then Zoom changed, made these disappear. And now I don't have a way to see. The no's are staying, but the yeses are going away. It's very frustrating. So let's change that. Let's do the raised hand if you're a yes, if you're a Mac, raised hand if you're a Mac, and no if you're a PC. Let's see if we get them to stay. Now, and your yes is staying, so you must have the latest version, but everyone else is going away. Okay, that's better. If you need to know how to update your program, ask me also. I can stay at the end of the class answering a lot of these extra things versus sending an email that takes forever to write to each person who asks me. So if you have a question like this, please, if it's a question or something I'm teaching, you go ahead and ask me in the moment. But whenever I say I'll tell you later, I can demonstrate how to do these things. So for example, I'm going to ask you to update your Zoom. It's things like that. Okay. I'm just writing down so that I can remember what to do at the end of class. All right. So here's the thing. Is there anyone out there who has a Chromebook? And is there anywhere out there who is just using an iPad or a phone? Okay, so
Chromebook.
Vika, you're on a Chromebook, okay?
Yeah, and I don't know whether I can upgrade the Zoom or not, because it's just come with the Chromebook.
Yeah, when it's part of the Chromebook like that, then you're already using the browser's Zoom, which they upgrade it whenever they do. So that's fine. It's got less capabilities than the regular Zoom, but so a Chromebook is a computer that can only use a browser. So it doesn't have all of the other stuff that a PC and a Mac can do. So it's awesome in one way, but you can only use things through the browser. So you cannot download a program. So if you have a Chromebook, you can't buy the Adobe Creative Cloud subscription is the point I'm trying to make. Don't bother. On a Chromebook, you can only access them through VDI, the way I'm going to teach you. But there are some shortcuts and things like that that you won't be able to do. And you need to tell me and we can figure it out, because a Chromebook has a few less keys. But for the most part, once you're in the program, there's not so much of a problem. Maylee, you mentioned that you're using a phone right now for Zoom. But you have a PC. So if you have a PC, that's the one you need to use for the class as far as where you do your work. But you're going to have to also try to connect to Zoom through that one, so that if I need to help you, it's online and you can share your screen. Otherwise, if you're only sharing your Zoom, you're on your phone, when you ask for help, I can't see your work. Okay. So the problem with having the class on a phone, unless you have one of the really big new phones, by the time you get to me pointing out what you need to click on, it's so tiny that it's kind of hard to see. But if it's a big screen and you're comfortable with that, that's okay. But you can't perform the work of the class on a phone. For that, you need a computer. And if you need a computer because you don't have one, our school is lending Chromebooks and hotspots, you guys. So if anyone needs equipment to take the class, let me know. I'll send you a link where you can get we can lend, you can get the school to lends you. You can borrow you can borrow a laptop, a Chromebook, and if you have a bad internet connection, you can borrow a hotspot from the school so that you can take the class. All right. So now that you know all of that, and I know, this is what I want to say about Mac and PC. PC users, that's fine. You've always been a PC user. You'll still be a PC user. Mac users, if you go on VDI, you will be a PC user. Okay. So we're on VDI, the computer we access is a PC computer. So whenever I start talking about if you're on a PC or on a Mac, if you're on VDI, assume that you're on a PC. You're not on a Mac anymore. Okay. It doesn't matter. It'll be the same. You'll see the programs on the inside. They're identical. But just know that whenever I say, okay, Mac users do this, it's only if they have the software installed at home. When I say PC users, it's everyone who owns a PC with the programs and everyone who's on VDI. So that kind of means that you're a PC user. Okay. Because there's a few different things, very few, but just some keyboard shortcuts that will change whether you're a Mac or a PC. Okay. So here we are. It's, I told you the first part of the class takes some time. Afterwards, it's all hands-on. We do stuff, but I need to get stuff handled at first that needs to happen. The last thing I need to get handled is about the class recordings. The class will be recorded. It's being recorded right now. You'll see on the top left of your screen, you'll see the little recording. All my classes get recorded. But don't hesitate from speaking up or asking questions, because the only people who see this recording are you guys who are in the class. Okay, so they've already heard you or not in the class asking the questions, and it's not like the world at large will see the recordings. Once the class is over, I'll post the link, the recording, and yes, I'm going to say this and it sounds scary, but it goes on YouTube, but in a private mode, so no one can search for it, find it in any way unless I give you the link. And then I'll have a place in the handouts where I have a link that you're going to click on and you can view the recordings. So the good and the bad of the recordings is I don't edit them. So if the class is 4 hours long, the recording is 4 hours long, and you need to go find the spot where I talked about the certain thing you're missing or that you want to review. You know what I mean? There's no, it's the entire class from beginning to end that gets recorded. The good, you can access, it's going to have captions, and you can access captions if it's easier for you. Those captions are just automatically done by YouTube based on my words. And so sometimes they make sense and sometimes they're a bit garbled because, you know, it's just me talking and it's an automatic process that puts the captions on. The good news is you can review the class as many times as you want. So that is the best part of the recording. People who are learning these technical things, they would leave our classroom and then they'd be like, I don't remember what she said. But now that you have the recording, you can replay my instructions 2,500 times until you really get it. So my request is use the recordings during the week to learn, you know, things that or practice the things that you need to practice. And the last thing is you still have to attend class. So if this were an in-person class, you'd have to come, and sometimes you have something happen and you miss class, that's fine. But you'd be a day behind. Well, guess what? If in an online course you miss a class, the good news is you won't be day behind because you can access the recording to catch up. And when you come next Friday, you will be caught up. So you didn't really miss it as far as the content. But for school, this class is free, which is amazing to get a computer class that's free. But it's only free because the state supports our college based on attendance. So if 10 people show up to class, we get paid for 10 people. If 20 people show up to class, we paid for 20 people. So if all you do is watch the recordings and not attend class, we are not getting paid for you. So you need to show up to class. Sometimes you need to leave early, you need to leave late, or you need to just show up. One day you had a doctor's dentist appointment, you made it for 10 minutes, never mind. But if you showed up for 10 minutes and you watch the video, I can still give you attendance. If you just watch the video and don't attend at all, I can't give you attendance, and then our college kind of goes further into debt and we don't pay off, and the free classes might have to, you know, get reduced. So do your best to attend. And if you have a crazy day, try to attend a little portion of it and then catch up on the video. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you how to access the handouts. Now, this portion is for everyone, no matter if you have the programs or don't have the programs, okay? This is for every single person. I'm going to share my screen now, and before I do much about showing you how to access the handouts, now when I share my screen, you're going to discover that for the most part, what happens with Zoom is that Zoom kind of takes over your entire screen, right? So I'm going to do that right now. I'm hitting share. And the way Zoom is set up by default, what it tries to do is it fills your screen now, even if it wasn't before. For some of you, it was already filling your screen, but for some of you guys, it wasn't, but now it is. Now, if Zoom fills your screen, you watch me doing stuff, but there's no screen left for you to do the work, right? So what you need to do is you need to get your Zoom to occupy only half of your screen. This is for people who only have one screen. If you have two screens, that's fine. Let Zoom be on one side and, you know, let your work be on the other. But if you have only one screen, you need to now hit your escape key. Okay, so make sure to click on the screen that's your Zoom and then hit your escape key. When you hit your escape key, you might have noticed that your program kind of shrunk in from the edges of your screen. And at this point, you can grab the edge of the box that holds Zoom and drag it over so that it occupies half of your screen. Everything else I'm going to teach you in this class, I'm going to demonstrate. And you will not have me saying, do this in the air. I will show you. But the only thing I cannot show you is Zoom. Zoom doesn't share itself. So you have to guess at what I'm saying and hopefully understand that you need to now move Zoom to occupy only half of your screen. And then the other half of your screen, open a browser. If you have Chrome or Firefox, those are the two best browsers to do VDI. If you're not doing VDI because you have software in your own computer, then any browser will do. Safari, Edge, whatever else that you're using will do. But if you're going to be doing VDI and you don't have Chrome or Firefox, then go ahead and try to download it for next class. So if you are using VDI, please download either Chrome or Firefox to use as browsers. And I just put it on the chat for next class. Not today is fine, but for next class. Okay, because VDI is much more stable when you have one of those two browsers. All right. Now, so hopefully by now you have Zoom on half your screen and the other half of your screen is a window of your browser, because now I'm going to lead everyone into finding the handouts for the class and the links where you're going to find the recordings and all of that. So we're going to go ahead and type up here. We're going to type sbcc.edu and hit enter. Is everyone able to see my Zoom screen? If you have any questions, if you're not able to do this yourself, this is the time to speak up. Like if you still don't know how to use half of your screen for this and for the other. Many of you might have taken online courses before where you just need to watch and you do things on paper, on hand, you do yoga or you listen. But when you have to use your computer as well, then you have this thing where you need to share your screen. So it's a bit of a different skill. All right. So those of you who have taken classes before know, and I don't, you know this is how it is, but for, there's like 5 or 6 of you who have never met me before. I mean it when I say, please ask me questions. Please interrupt me. When I say, do you have any questions? Please ask me what's not working. And it's much faster to tell me now that you're not in, say, sbcc.edu, that you didn't get here or that you can't find the handouts than if you wait 10 minutes and then you're 10 steps behind, right? So it's easier to interrupt me when it's not working for you than to wait until you're so behind that then either you don't ask me or don't come back, which would be the worst case scenario. And the worst case scenario where you ask me late and then it takes me 10 steps to help you get there, right? So yes, Anne?
I have your City College screen up but I don't have
yours.
Mine.
Yeah, so if you have mine up, is it filling your screen? Or have you been able to kind of minimize it and move it halfway?
It's pretty much filling the...
Okay, hit the escape key and see if that helps it disconnect from full screen. And maybe it already was not filling, but if it is, hit your escape key is the top left key on your keyboard. Get out of jail free card, I call it. Hit the escape key. And then at this point, you should have some edge that with your mouse, putting it to the very edge, you can probably click and get your double-headed arrow. When you see your mouse turn into a double-headed arrow, that means it's ready to, you can click and drag to make your screen, your window be half the size. And trust me, in the future, a question like this, I will say, well, share your screen and I'll help you. But this is the Zoom does not share itself. So I have to just, cross my fingers and wish and hope and guess at this point that you figure out how to do this one step. Is that working, Anne? Were you able to scooch your Zoom over a bit?
No, I still have you on one side and the Santa Barbara City College filling the...
Okay, so then if you have me on one side, like me talking, you mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. And then the other screen on the right side, what you're doing is you've got a split Zoom screen. So let me see the best way I can, let me share a different screen. Let me share the screen that I can share, which is this example. I'm gonna share here. So I'm sharing a window where, as you can see, this thing is filling my entire screen. And what you need to do, oh, I didn't want to share the window. Sorry, I wanted to share the entire desktop. Give me a sec. Here you go. So what you need to do, if Zoom is like, imagine this were Zoom and you're filling the entire screen, you need to be able to hit the edge of the screen a little bit like that. My mouse is over on the edge. When it gets double, scooch it over. So you grab it from the end and kind of make it fill half your screen. Okay. And then you'll have other windows and stuff there. And then the other half, if it's also like filling your screen, move that one to fill about half your screen. And I know this isn't Zoom or whatever, but this is the idea of having two windows where on the left or on the right, your choice, one of them is me and one of them is you. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Then the one that's me just shows me doing my thing. And the one that's you get to do your own search. So basically right now you would have something that looks like this, where on half the screen, let me actually go to the one here, on half the screen, you would have me on Zoom showing you something. And on the other half, you would have to do your sbcc.edu. And then you would do your own here. And then I would do mine here, you would do yours there. Is that kind of giving you a better, are you able to grab your screen and move it sideways? If that's not working for you right now, Anne, then go ahead and keep following along with my conversation. Watch, and then the first time I give a break, I'll give you a hands-on support with doing this. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
I can continue. All right. Okay, so now I'm back to sharing just my half screen. So, oh, great question. What is a browser? A browser is any software that allows you to see the internet. So for example, are you on a Mac or on a PC, Lizzie? If you ask me what's a browser, are you on a Mac or on a PC? On the chat, Lizzie asked me what's a browser. So it's like the generic name for the type of applications that, so Lizzie, do you hear my question? Are you on a Mac or on a PC? Can you answer on the chat? I can't hear you if you're answering by voice. It's a PC. Okay. So on a PC, probably when you try to watch the internet, you're using Internet Explorer or Edge. That's the software that you use to browse the internet. And that's why it's called a browser. And maybe you use Chrome, maybe you use Firefox. I don't know what you use. Do you know what you use? What's the name of the internet software that you use? You can write or you can turn your sound off. You Google. Okay, there you go. Google. Thank you for saying the word Google, because Chrome is made by the company called Google. Chrome is the name of Google's browser. So you're already using Chrome. So yeah, it's Chrome. It's Google Chrome. Google Chrome is the name of one, or Mozilla Firefox. And some people know them as Google or Mozilla, but Google makes Chrome, Mozilla makes Firefox. So yeah. So if you're already on Google, so to say, then you're on Chrome, which is what we need. So you're fine. All right. Thanks. I tend to say the word Chrome and I forget that for a lot of people that it's Google Chrome. All right. So yeah, you're on the right browser. Okay, so after you get to sbcc.edu, then go over here to the left, and click on the big old P for pipeline.
Kiana, can I ask a quick question?
Yes, Justine?
I'm sorry if I missed it. Did you say that we need to use Chrome for this class, that we'll need to be using Chrome as our browser?
If you're going to be doing VDI, for accessing the Creative
I know.
Cloud,
Yeah.
then Chrome or Firefox.
Okay, I use Firefox, so if I'm okay with that, then I will
Yeah,
use that.
yeah,
Thank
Firefox is actually even more stable than Chrome. Safari, or the ones that are specifically for like Safari for the Mac, or the Internet Explorer or Edge for the PC, they are not as stable on VDI versus Chrome and Firefox. And so for
Okay.
VDI, to alleviate problems, it's better to have one of those two browsers.
Great, thank you.
All right, so we'll put in your username in here and your password. I cannot help you with usernames and passwords. If you do not know him, you do need, as I sent you the original email, you need to connect with Emma. Look at the initial email I sent you from class. Those of you who signed in today, you didn't get that email, but you already know this because you were in class. People who do not know their username and password, Emma can help you. I can't help you. All right. Just so you know, today at 4 p.m., this system will be down. So right after our class ends, they're going to be down working on it for 15 minutes to usually it takes a bit longer to half an hour. So just warning you, we've been warned for a while, but fortunately our class ends before that. So anyway, hit login. But if you're trying to do assignments right after class, it's going to be down. The pipeline is going to be down for a little bit. Okay. So once you're inside of this pipeline, okay, then, by the way, I just want to point out to something really quickly. See these things that are showing up here? These are like little ads that SBCC is putting out for students. This is another example of how there's probably flyers. If we were in person, there'd be flyers with these things in school, but you'd also need to make a version for screen to show up here. And this would be an example of having, you might have a big poster that looks like that and then a little one that has to fit in here. So you'd have to adapt the same material for two different uses. Okay, so just wanted to point something out. All right, so here we go to student non-credit. If you are a non-credit student, you'll see that there. If you are also have ever taken a credit class, then you are by default assumed to be a credit student. And instead of seeing student non-credit, you would see only the word student. Click the word student. If any of you guys is or was a credit student in the past, then you will not see the non-credit. You will see only the word student. Okay. Once you click the student non-credit, on the far right, you'll see Google Drive. That's where we need to go. If you clicked the word student instead, then you actually have to go to student resources, okay? And then you'll see the same thing, class resources. So it's one extra step for pre-4 student. All right, so is everyone here? If you're here, fine. If you're not here, please let me know. If you didn't make it to this point, please let me know. Hi, Anne. Thanks for joining us. I'm showing people how to connect to VDI, and I know that you've already done this portion, so you can catch up on your own. I'm showing people how to get to handouts. So if anyone is not here, this is the time to let me know. Speak up now or hold your peace. All right, so click on Google Drive. Now, all of this seems to take a long time, but I assure you, when you do it on your own, the total process of what we're going to do is I think someone timed me once in class and it took me like 2 minutes to do everything that we're doing now. So right before class starts next week, take the first few minutes to set up to do all this. Okay. Then here on the left, you see the word shared drive. Let me put a little bit of color on the tip of my mouse so you see it better. Spotlight. Here we go. So do you see my mouse now here where it says shared drives? Click on shared drives. Yeah, whatever you guys see here under my drive is going to be different than mine. You might just have a little thing saying welcome because you might have never used it. But if you click on shared drives, you will see here either 1, 2, or 3 if you're taking 3 of my classes, 1 if you're taking my 1 class, 5 if you're taking 5 of my classes, of these boxes. So if you only have 1, then you should see Digital Design Techniques. Okay, if you shared drives and then Digital Design Techniques shared drive. Okay, so this might be the only one you have. Then go ahead and double click on it. Now I'm going to wait here to make sure. Did everyone get here? If you're not here, this is the time to speak up. Oh, Alan, it changed you to non-credit. Okay, do you have both student and student non-credit or just non-credit? Huh. All right, Meg, what are you seeing?
Just non-credit.
It's just non-credit, yeah. Then they're updating it sooner than they used to. Meg, what you're saying, you're seeing something else. Can you tell me what you're seeing? Otherwise I can ask you to share.
Sure, I am seeing a single sign-on portal.
So over here on the left, you clicked on shared drives?
No, before you got there, sorry. I'm
My
seeing
drive?
something completely different. Yeah, mine just says single sign-on portal. Then it says Adobe Creative Suite, banner,
Oh,
GitHub.
okay.
Google.
Yeah. So did you, sometimes it does this weird thing. Did you get all the way to this page?
No.
Okay, so then.
It brought me right into single sign-on portal.
Yeah, now and then it does that weird thing. Do you see one that says pipeline?
No.
I think around the bottom.
Pipeline portal, yes.
Yeah, click on pipeline portal then. And that brings you into this page, hopefully.
Now it's saying my password's not working, even though it got me into that single sign-on thing. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not that it's not working. It makes you sign in again. It's weird. When it does that to you, it makes you sign in twice. I don't know why. And now and then it happens. And when it happens, you just need to sign in again.
It keeps bringing me back to the single sign-on portal.
All right. And when you click pipeline the second time, it doesn't bring you in here.
Your name not found.
Okay, so
you keep going. I'm taking note of what you're doing, and I will figure this out.
And if not, okay. But this does bring me to a great point, which is some people truly do have their pipeline awry. For some reason, it's a mess. I'm going to post in the chat. Let me go catch the link. Some people need this information. So I'm sending it right here, but I'm going to send it also in an email after class. If you're having an issues with pipeline or with VDI, I'm not with Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, not with that stuff, because that, like, I don't remember how to use the retouching tool. And yeah, they're not going to help you with a retouching tool. But if you can't access your programs through VDI or your pipeline or something like that, you can go to SPCC Student Tech Support. They're open between 9:30 and 8, Mondays through Thursdays, not Fridays. And you click on this link and it's a Zoom portal and they let you in, and then they help you through if it's truly like a problem issue or something like that, they can help you with that. If you don't have the link, then just go to SPCC EDU Computer Resources, and then there's a big button there that's Enter Computer Lab, and it's the same place. I'm going to email you guys this information, but if you want to copy paste it right now or whatever and use it later, you're welcome to have that in a handy note so that you can get help from school. Now, they've chastised me many times. I send my students there, and then students go in there and ask them things about their personal software or like their computers and stuff. And they go, no, we're here just to help with the school resources, which are, Zoom, of course, if you need to connect to classes, or a pipeline or VDI, Google Drive's file stream, all the stuff that I'm teaching you right now. And I will be teaching you for the next, half hour. That's the kind of stuff they can help you with, but they can't. And if the Photoshop program isn't opening because it's not working, they'll help you with that. But how to use Photoshop, they will not help you with that. Okay. Does that make sense? Or how to use your Mac to open your version of Photoshop? No. Only the school's version of Photoshop, which is the VDI one, will they help you with. Okay. Just want to clarify that because I keep getting every session nasty little, not nasty, nice, nasty, when they're really nice, but they're like, don't send students with their personal problems. And I'm like, I try not to. So there you go. So you've been warned. All right. Definitely pipeline or this kind of stuff is not a personal problem, Meg. So if you can't figure it out, definitely get their support. Okay. But today, Friday is the only day they're not.
I have a question.
Yes, Vika.
Because I'm having kind of the same problem. I was in the screen before you were sharing, But then when I'm trying to open the drive, it's asking me to add the pipeline email to my computer. And I
Can you guys, can one of you guys share your screen so that I can see what's happening? Because if it's happening to two people, that's a bit more suspicious. And especially two people who are new to my class, because I just want to make sure that you guys are entered correctly. You are both registered correctly. One of you two, either one, hit the big shared screen button. Yeah, and then after you hit the big share screen button, there's one more button on the bottom right that's a little blue button with white words that says share. You need to hit that one as well.
Yeah, if you want, I can share my screen.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, give me a moment, please.
Mm-hmm.
What is asking me to share? Application or desk?
Yeah, the first button is the big green one, and then you have like another window full of little screens, and just go to the bottom right of that one and click the blue button that has the white words share, and it'll share whatever screen you're on.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay, so I log into my pipeline account, and then
Yeah.
you
try to click on Google Drive, and what happens?
Right. And ask me to add another account. In this case, I'm trying to put my...
No, so close that. That's interesting. You know what? Go ahead and see the little X at the top. This is weird. No, I didn't want you to close up, but never mind. Now you did. So go back. I was going to show you. So hit Google Drive from there.
Oh.
And hold on. Oh, I want that window. That window that you closed again. The one that...
Give me a moment, because in the top is a part of stop sharing, and it was interrupting my view over there.
Yeah, so here you are. Okay, this is not the one I want. Yeah, so the one that opens up when you click Google Drive. Okay, try it one more time and stay here. Okay, so this is the issue is that you have another other 2 or 3 other issues, 2 other Google accounts, whichever it might be, right? So head over at the top where it says my accounts and hit that arrow that says my accounts. Yeah, click on that. And see, you're in these 2 accounts, and you need to be able to see because Pipeline, by the way, is a Google Chrome account. Everyone else isn't affected by this, guys. Hold on. So you need to close this window by the top little screen that's there. Yeah, there you go. And go back to the Pipeline again. I'm thinking you're gonna have to... Yeah, so hold on. On the top right of this screen, yeah, move up a bit higher and go to where you see like that little, click on that. Okay, not that one. Go to the one on the left, which is like a puzzle piece. No, that's extensions. Huh. It's not letting me switch your account. Okay, so none of these are your accounts. You should be having the account one in here.
Okay, because I also asked for Barrel Chrome from the school.
Oh.
This one is not, because I tried to set it up yesterday, and I was having kind of the same problem.
Yeah. So listen, Vika, if this is what's happening to you, Meg, I think yours is different. What's happening to Meg is different because I was able to talk you through it. This one, you need to be able, is this a school Chromebook?
It's a school Chromebook, but it's not a Santa Barbara College.
Not a Santa Barbara City College Chromebook. Okay, that's the problem. When you're hitting that, it's taking you to this other account. So you definitely need to go to our student tech support.
Okay.
That I just handed, and I'll send you the link again for this, and have them figure out how to connect this account to your Pipeline Google account. Because otherwise I can't help you get in, because this is more like the whole account setup that I don't want to. First of all, not only do I not want to take the whole class teaching, but I don't know how to help you get out of your other account. Okay. Once you do that, then you'll be able to switch. So you'll be able to set your Chromebook to switch to one or to the other. It's not like you'll be lost from the other one. You'll be able to switch,
Okay.
but you need to have one set up both accounts so that both of your accounts are viable, which right now only the other school is viable, okay?
Okay, I have an idea. I'm gonna try and I will let you know.
Yeah, so watch the class first, and then today they're not there to help you. Today is the only day tech support is not there. So keep watching. You can always later get through. You probably, this part you can't do, but you'll probably still be able to get onto VDI, okay? As long as you have your PowerPoint. Just this piece that I'm showing right now, you can't do. Because for this, you do need the account. All right. So sorry that you guys are, this is new. I've taught since March online and I have not had these two things come up. So you never know, something new each time. The Chromebooks are different enough that they cause different type of problems that regular, that Macs or PCs don't. And so they have their own issues. All right. So under shared drives, DigitalDesignTechniques, double click on that. And then you'll open up to a screen like this. Now, you might or not be seeing this there. This is what you want. So here's the thing. These are our handouts. The steps to get here, I will send you not only a flyer, a PDF attached to your email, but I have a little video that I'll show you the link that tells you how to do this again and again and again so you can figure out how to get here. So don't worry. I also have a video telling you how to do all the VDI connections that I'll teach you right after this. So I will help you can practice that. So right now, just try to follow through, but I have a video where you can keep practicing. When you get here, at the very top left, you will always see this file under quick access. That is the recording links for this class. Okay. Now, every day at the end of the class, it takes me, if the class is 4 hours long, it takes me at least 4 to 6 hours to process the whole thing. So usually by Saturday morning, you'll have the link ready for the Friday class. So you can double click this link, and I put a sample here because today isn't finished yet. But what you'll see is you'll see something like this, and it'll be the link for this day's class. And when you click on it and click on this link, it'll take you to a private YouTube where you will see the class start. And this is like an illustrator class. And this is a recording of the class. Okay, only it'll be this digital design techniques class that you'll see, okay? So I just wanted to show you that that's where you'll end up. This link is not today's class. I'll get rid of it after this so that you don't make that mistake. And I'll put the actual, this digital design technique class, you'll have it there by tomorrow morning, and then so on and so forth. So every time that you want to, you have to miss a class, or you want to practice, or you want to see the first portion again or the last portion again, you can come over here. The videos will be about 4 hours long, and you zoom yourself to whatever you need to see. Then you go, let's go back. This is the Zoom. If you opened it up, it opens in a new window. You go back to this window, and then down here I have tons of different handouts, and I'll be adding some more that we're going to be using. We're not necessarily using these so much as what this provides you is support, and I have some more that I need to add here, and then I'm going to have some class files that we're using in class over here. Now, notice that here's where I have these little videos is how to access VDI, how to download the class files, how to access LinkedIn.com that Alan asked me about how to learn After Effects. I told, well, if you go to LinkedIn.com for free, you need to do it this way. If you go to LinkedIn.com on your own, you'll have to pay a bunch. But if you do it the way I give you the instructions here, then you can access them for free. So these are videos. I will send you links to these videos anyway, because the first time around, you might not remember how to get in here. But otherwise, there's a whole bunch of information here for you guys to process. So say that you want to learn how to access the class handouts. So I'll double click on that, and I'm going to email you this, right? And what this is basically tells you, go to student non-credit, Google Drive, shared drives, etc. And here's how you access LinkedIn, okay? So there's a whole bunch of information here. As class progresses, I might want you to read some of these things. For now, I'm not going to, the homework for now isn't this. reading anything. The homework for now is learning how to get here and how to see the recordings. Okay. So any questions other than Meg or, oh, did she leave? Vega? No, here you are. Other than Meg or Vega who have a different kind of issue, anyone else was not able to get here and you have any kind of questions yet? Nope. Cool. Okay. So now for
well, I have a question. I
yes,
to that page and
I'm
okay,
sorry.
I got to the page.
Yeah.
Should I tell?
Oh, I'm hearing you that you said you got to the page, but then your voice gets broken up, so I can't hear you. Can you ask me again? Try to say that again. It was very broken up.
I got to the page that we're looking at, but when I click on my drive and their drive, I have all these things that you have.
Did you click on shared drives?
I'll type it. Did you share drives? Yeah.
Inside of shared drives? Okay, you asked, type me your question. Meanwhile, let me answer. Type your question. Your voice is breaking up. I can't hear you. Type your question. Is it broken up for you guys too, or is it only me? It's broken up for you guys too. Okay, because I wanted to make sure if it was my connection. Lizzie, don't try to speak. I can't hear you. Lizzie, type your question. Your sound is not working. Okay, you got to the page you're on, but you only have one photo. So did you double click Digital Design Techniques? Double click Digital Design. So when you get to Digital Design Techniques, you would only have one Digital Design Technique. You would not have the rest for sure. And then when you double click Digital Design Techniques, here's where you only have one photo. Say yes by nodding or no. If here you have only one photo, then because we're on Zoom and you're using your Zoom and it's breaking up, it's probably trying to download the stuff. So when when you're off Zoom, the rest will probably pop in. Okay, it'll take some time for it to resolve. Oh, yeah, it's probable. Oh, okay. When you get to shared drives, you might not be seeing the design techniques. It's probably that you're not. Did you register online? How did you get the link for the class though? If you signed up today, I didn't send it to you. Anyway, I don't want to get you talking. It's possible that it's because you signed in today that you're not in there. I'll go check to make sure in the registration. I'm going to write it down to check during break. I want to give everyone a break soon. So I'm going to check your registration to make sure you see it. Okay. But if what's happening is that you're not seeing this, that'll pop in. But if you're not seeing Digital Design Techniques, and that's because you're not in the course, I'll check on that.
Yeah, I don't have it either.
Okay. Oh, you don't have Digital Design Techniques either, Patricia?
No, I don't, but I do
well,
have Photoshop. I have the Photoshop and I know that all the handouts that you have is in Photoshop, but I don't have Digital Techniques because you.
Okay, so you just signed up right now too. So people who just signed up, it probably hasn't yet transferred your registration to allow you in. So I'll go check on that. There's 3 people who signed in today. So that might be happening to you. Yeah, so I'll double check. If anyone else is not seeing it, let me know. So I know it's Lizzie and it's Patricia. If anyone else is not seeing the Digital Design Techniques, when you click on shared drives, then let me know. Okay. All right. So once you're in here, we're going to be, there's some stuff here that's different than what you have and some more that I'll be adding, by the way, Patricia, but for now, this is the same. And then in here in the class files, when you double click on class files, there's some stuff, but I'm still loading some new things in here. I wanted some different files than the ones I've been using, so I'm loading a few new ones. So next week I'll have everyone who's working at home download these files. For now, don't do anything with that, okay? So this is where the class files are. All right. Everything I just said applies to the entire class. What I want us to do now is to take a quick break because, you know, brains get fried. It's Friday afternoon after all. And then when we come back from the break, everyone who does not own the programs, I'm going to show you how to access the programs from VDI. And then the people who are home will access them from home. And then we'll be ready to open the programs. Okay. So it's 2:30. We're going to take a 15-minute break. Sometimes I try to vary the size. We'll just take one break. So we'll be 15. Sometimes we'll take a short one. So let's be back at 2:45. If you nothing. If you nothing. Let's take a clean break. I'm going to mute you all so you can make as much noise as you want in the background. Make sure to be back by 2:45. All right. See you guys soon. I'm stopping the share and the recording. All right. So, hi. I'm back. I don't know if you guys are back. So, Lizzie, are you there? I see what you answered. And I don't see you under any name. Had I seen that name, it's similar enough. So right now you're not appearing in my roster. So and the people who signed up today are in the roster. So something must have gone wrong. How did you sign up? Did you go online and sign up for the course, or did you send an email saying you wanted to sign up? Oops, there she is. I don't know if she's back. Okay. So when at the end of class, let me know. Because I don't understand how you got the link to the class if you're not on my roster, because I only emailed the link to roster people, but you're not on the roster. So I'm trying to figure this out. By the way, Justine, I just read for the first time your personal email. I love what you're called. Thought I'd tell you. Anyway.
Queen Justine. Okay.
Yeah, Queen Justine is her personal email. I love that.
Stage name.
All right. So Lizzie was there. Now I don't see her there. Ah, did she leave? Am I missing you? Did she get dropped? Oh, there you are, Lizzie. So yeah, stay after class, can you? So we can try to figure out what's up, because you're not in my rosters, but you have the link. I didn't send you a link, or did I? Did you get an email from me with how to access today's class? But I have your email, so it's so weird. Anyway, we need to fix this because you can't access the handouts until you're on the roster, because I didn't let individual people into the handouts. I let the class in as a roster, which is why by not being on the roster, you're not in. See what I mean? So I can't let you in until you're in the roster. So we need to get that fixed before you can get the handouts. Does that make sense? Meanwhile, that's fine. This is what you couldn't access, the part that we just did. But once you get the correct access and everything, then you'll be in the roster correctly. Then you'll be able to access the handouts. You don't need them. I'll send you links to the videos in the next email I send. And those links, you'll be able to watch the videos without having to get them through here. Okay. And then you'll have to work with the people in admissions to figure out what's happening. All right. So is everyone back? Hopefully I started the recording again. Yes, I did. All right. So now, if you have iCloud at home, okay? So you already own the conversation, the iCloud, Creative Cloud subscription, not conversation. Then please make sure that you have downloaded Bridge. So I just wrote, please download Bridge. So those of you who own a subscription and you don't yet have Bridge because you haven't used it yet, then go to your iCloud and download Bridge because we're going to be using Bridge. Okay. Bridge is an application. Another one of the many applications in the Adobe Cloud where, as its name implies, it's a great way to connect all of these different programs: Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere, After Effects, anything you can imagine, Lightroom, whatever. They all connect through Bridge because Bridge is kind of the holder of all of this information. Someone called Marley is trying to come in. Is there a Marley in the class, or is it one of your second computers? I'll let Marley in, but I need to figure out who it is. I don't see a Marley in my roster. Is it someone connecting on their second computer perchance? Well, we'll find out because I don't see a Marley in the roster. All right, so everyone who owns that program themselves, then you need to download it because we'll need you to use it. And those of you who are VDI, like everything else, will open it through VDI. So you guys get busy doing that. Everyone now who does not have the programs of their own, now I need to know who you are. I need you to raise your hands. If you do not, like, go to the reactions and do a little raise hand so that you pop up to the top, because now this portion that's VDI is going to concern you guys, the ones who need to get the programs through school, which is the majority of the people in this class from what the raised hands that I got before. Okay, so everyone who needs the programs through VDI, please click on their emoji. And everyone else, make sure you have Bridge on your computer installed so that when I'm done with VDI, we can all open Bridge. Okay, and then I'll teach you more about what's up with Bridge and everything. So I'm gonna, since I'm not getting answers from everyone, and just to know, to make sure, if your hand is not raised, that means you own the programs. So for example, the people I don't know, Maylee, do you own the programs yourself? Who else? Abigail, do you own the programs?
Yes, I do. Abby owns programs.
And Mayuri, yes, hold on, Mayuri, hold on, Patricia. Mayuri, you don't have the programs because you're on Chrome, right? Or do you have?
Chrome, and I also have a very antiquated computer, but I managed to somehow download the Zoom to.
Okay.
So I have something going on, and you remember that you told me to turn one of them off. So
yeah, that's true.
You know, I have such a hard time in Illustrator. I hope this is going to make it a little bit easier, not because of your teaching.
No, I know your connection's is a mess. Yeah. So have you considered, everyone who keeps saying their connection is a mess, please consider accessing the school's support and letting them and getting a hotspot for you. Because they're trying to support students as much as they can and being successful with these online courses. So they can give you hotspots and they can give you Chromebooks. Please, if you need that, let me know, email me, I'll send you the links. You just need to show up at a certain time and they just give them to you. It's a lending, of course, but not a give them, but everyone is so happy when they come back. Or some people have bought boosters for their Wi-Fi's and suddenly, whoa, it's amazing the difference. And a booster doesn't cost that much. So there's just a few differences that might make a difference for your class success, okay? Patricia, what were you trying to ask me? I can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself.
I do have the program Bridge, but I'm on to join by DVI.
VDI, because I need you to have, if you're going to be using Creative Cloud, it didn't even occur to me, you don't need just Bridge. You need Bridge, Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign as the basic 4 programs for this class. Okay, so say that you have the Creative Cloud, but you've only downloaded Photoshop, then use this time while I'm teaching people VDI, use this time to download InDesign and Illustrator. If you have Illustrator, download Photoshop and InDesign. We need all 3 of those. So let me actually, thanks for saying that, because I'm assuming you already have them for some strange reason if you're at home, but you might not. So Bridge, Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. Those are, InDesign is one word. Those are the 4 programs that we're going to be using. Now, we won't be using all 4 of them at the same time. We'll be using maybe 1 or 2 at the same time, Bridge always, and then maybe Bridge and Photoshop, then Bridge and InDesign, then Bridge and Illustrator, sometimes Illustrator and InDesign, something like that. But ideally, we're not going to open all at the same time just to not tax the system too much. Do our best to close one and open the other when we need the other. All right. Okay, so now, those of you who have your raised hands, Jennifer, by the way, what's your situation? Jennifer, do you have, it seems to me that you didn't raise your hands, but some people don't have the way to raise their hands. Do you have your own subscription to the Creative Cloud? Oh, there you go.
Yes, I
Raise your
do.
hand.
Sorry.
Oh, no. If you have your own subscription, then you don't need to raise your hand. That means it's only if you need to use VDI. I just want to keep track of those who are trying to connect to VDI so that I can check in that you're following the steps. But so if you have you're fine. Now go and make sure you have Bridge, Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign on your computers. Those of you who have it. Okay, VDI people now. By the way, if you have all those 4 programs and you have them and you know they're running and they're ready to go, you can check out again for the next 15 or 20 minutes, okay? I'm going to take people through the steps to get VDI. All right, so everyone who needs VDI, and while the rest of the people are downloading their stuff, we're going to head over to I just noticed that I didn't answer one question. I think it was right before the break, someone said, is this where, are you going to post the recordings? I don't know who asked a question. Mainly you said, is this where you would post in the recorded class videos? And I just want to share one more time that, yeah, this is where I'll be reporting the class videos. Only it'll look exactly like this. Every day you'll have one more link. It's a YouTube link. Okay. So, and this page is in the is the top choice of your SBCC roster. Okay. So so when you go to shared drives, DigitalDesignTechniques, right there, you'll see your class recordings by Saturday for every day. Okay, just wanted to answer that one. All right, so now everyone who is doing VDI, open a new tab. So if you're in Google Chrome, it's very easy. You just click a little plus sign here to open a new tab. If you are on Safari, there's a plus sign down here somewhere. If you are on Chrome as well, there's a plus sign somewhere, or worst case scenario, go and say file new tab, or worst case scenario, file new window. Now I'm going to actually have it be a new window night. I think about it that way I don't get people confused. So I'm going to actually share a new window, file new window. Okay, so now you have, these are the steps you need to do every time you're ready to start working on these programs. Of course, right before 1 p.m. on Fridays, but anytime during the week that you want to connect to practice, you need to follow these steps. First thing we're going to do up here, I'm going to type it in the chat, vmview.sbcc.edu. So I typed it into the chat right there. In fact, you can probably click that link in the chat and it'll take you there. But if you type it yourself, then it's vmview.sbcc.edu. Now, I want to make a distinction. Some people are going in here where it says search Google to type something out, because that's what you've always done. You just write something inside of Google. That is a whole different creature. And it's hard to explain unless you take the whole, so navigating your browser class. That is searching something on Google. Please do not write in here. Please write up in the top choice field, no matter your browser, right? vmview.sbcc.edu. On top of that, I'm warning you, sometimes you start writing VM view and see how Google gives you all these choices. You might see one that looks better. Don't, for this point, don't go to anything. Keep writing it, vmview.sbcc.edu. Ignore everything that's showing up because those will not take you to the right place. Once you've written that whole word, then hit your return or enter key. And it should take you here. If it takes you to a Google search, then you need to try again and let me know and I'll help you, but this is where you need to end up in. Okay. So if you have old versions, or for example, Patricia has a different version of Photoshop, then you definitely need to be doing this through VDI, because if you have an older version of Photoshop, that probably means you don't have Illustrator or InDesign, right? So you need to be doing this. Okay. Unless someone says otherwise that you are not here, then I am going to move on. Has everyone made it here? That first step sometimes causes some problems, but if you're all there, good. Then there's two choices here. And let me explain these choices. I will always go here during class because it's the one that I get to demonstrate. Some people who have unstable connections after class, not now, you might want to come back here and download the software. Not now, please, but you can download the software and connect to VDI through downloaded software into your computer, which will be a more stable connection. I don't want you to do it during class. It's up to you to do it on your own. If you find that the VDI that we're doing this way ends up being like you drop in or out. It happens maybe to 1 or 2 people per class that they kind of drop in or out. Most people do fine, but if you have a wobbly connection already, then you might have a wobbly VDI. All right, so the rest, everyone in class today, please click on this side and it's going to take us into this page. In this page, we're going to write our username again. So whatever your pipeline username, your school pipeline username, and then your school pipeline password. And again, if something about this combination doesn't work, then you do need to check in with Emma. Ask me at the end of class. I'll send you to the right people to have you fix your pipeline username and password. I can't, I have zero access to how to help you with that, but the admissions people do. Once you've written these two in, then hit login. If you're going to do this all the time, you might want to save your password. I have to demo this all the time, so I don't. But if you save your password, then you'll just get in each time really quickly. I'm going to wait here for a second while people are doing this to make sure that if someone cannot get in and is not here, then let me know. It's weird. I had you guys raising your hands to see who's doing this, but then also if you have trouble, raising your hand doesn't work, right? Because I don't notice you're needing help. So you need to speak up or write in the chat or something if it's not working. So I know you're needing help. The yes that I used to have, the yes and the no options, now they turn off. So I need you guys to update your Zoom so I can use the yeses and the nos. Okay. Looks like everyone is okay. So now of the choices here, you will not see employee, you will only see student desktop. Go ahead and click on student desktop. And now this is going to take a while. So while this is happening, that takes a while, I want to explain to you what you're doing. What we're doing right now is equivalent to having said, oh, it's going to be time for class. Let me go get my keys, jump in my car, jump into the bus, walk to school, whatever you do, take your bike, get to school, walk into a school lab, sit down in front of a school lab, type in username and password, and vuvamu, computer opens up and all your programs that you need to use are there. So you are now opening up a computer that's not your own, okay? You're opening up a Windows computer that belongs to the school, and you are doing this virtually through this program, through this browser. It's going to take some time. The process takes a little while, but normally it, just now it did a little glitch. It started opening the windows and then it stopped. Right here, I should be seeing windows. I'm going to wait it out a little bit more, otherwise I'll try to connect again. But hopefully you guys are seeing your Windows screen pop open. I was having a bit of an issue with mine yesterday. It wouldn't connect. I ended up having to go through Firefox. Let me see. Let me know if anyone has seen the Windows computer in front of them to make sure it's not just me.
Yeah, Deanna, my the blue screen with the window icon
Yeah.
came up.
Yeah.
And now there's a white box in front of it that says Google sign in.
You're in the right spot. Hang out right there. That's where you should be. I am
Yeah.
the one who is not getting there. And if I don't get there, I'm going to disconnect and attempt to do this through Firefox. Yesterday, I couldn't connect through this either. I'm going to have to go to tech support, which is, I've been using this since March and it's never been an issue. And I've had 2 days of problems. See how it's not connecting? I'm going to actually open up Firefox. So give me a second and I'm going to share a new screen, and I'm going to do it through this new screen because this is not working. Okay, so now let me share my Firefox screen. So I'm going to go through these steps again. Sorry, and yesterday. Okay, so vmu.sbcc.edu, connect, log in, desktop. So as you can see, the steps to log into VDI are quick. I just did them in front of you, two or 3 seconds once you don't have to explain everything, but I am really not. Wow. Why am I having so many issues? My student desktop is trying to connect. So I guess it wasn't a Chrome issue. It's something with my desktop. How about you all? How are you doing? Give me a little chat. Say I'm in if you're seeing the Windows screen in front of you. Anyone who has their hands raised who's doing VDI. Anne, I have 2 Anns, Ann Wunsch and Ann Kapersky. And Lisa, it's not working for you either, huh? Is it like me that it's just kind of gray?
For me, it is saying error. This desktop is currently not available. Please connect to this desktop again later or contact your system admin. And I'm on Chrome.
And me, it's not connecting and I cannot teach if I do not connect. I'm going to log off and try again. I am despairing. Okay, worst case scenario, I can teach you using my own computer so I can continue with the class, but I really need to show you how to do it for the people who don't have VDI, because otherwise, how do you get in? Oh my God, I've never had this problem. I mean, half of you are in my other classes. This has never happened before. Maybe it's, I'm going to turn off my video to see if I can reduce my, use. I'm going to stop sharing for a little bit while I'm connecting to see if not sharing and stopping my video helps me connect. So I'm kind of, yeah, it says an error has occurred for me too. Let me connect again. And let's see if I don't share and I don't have video, if I can minimize my, you know what? I also have InDesign open in the background. I have a lot of stuff open in the background. So I'm going to close my other computer programs. The less things you have open, the better. I have Photoshop open as well, so I'm going to close a bunch of my stuff. Don't save. I'm closing a bunch of programs that I have open in the background. I've never usually have an issue, but okay. Guys, this is really not good. I'm going to quit Firefox and try one last time. Through closing all my windows, everything, every single thing I have open to see if I can make this work. I'm going to restart Chrome. I'm going to close. I have Excel open as well. Let me close Excel. I've just completely closed my entire computer. Let me see if this helps. All right, so Lisa is the only one who can't connect. Lisa and me. Access denies, says Veka. Well, I did tell you that they're gonna be doing some work on it this afternoon, so I wonder if everyone is having problems. I'm on at least I'm connecting again. Let's see, this time let's connect. You're at the Google sign-in. Justine, you're the one who's there. Meg is seeing the Google sign-in box. That's good. Lisa and Veka say that it's not working. How about Anne? Where are you? Both Anns. You're in? I can't hear you, Anne.
I'm trying to get in through Firefox now.
Okay. I'm trying to get in through Chrome. I'm giving it a chance. I'm on a black screen now. Ah, I see my Windows screen. I got in. All right. Well, I had to turn off every single thing on my computer and my videos and my sharing. Okay. And the first Ann is in, Ann Kaspersky, and Wunsch is still trying to get in. Becca, how are you doing? You got something else, or are you still saying access denied?
I tried a couple of times and continue saying access denied. And I don't know if it's because of this Chromebook.
Yeah,
or...
you're also the one who had issues getting into the other
Yeah.
stuff. So maybe your issue is different than ours, because access denied is different than not getting in. Yes, Anne?
I got in, but the student desktop, it says your access is denied. Oh, wait a minute, I just got in.
Oh, good. See, it's the magic of telling on your computer, and then it decides to behave. Andrea Chu, are you in? I don't know if you're in. There, you're in. Okay, so basically right now it's down to Vika, who had issues before. How about you, Lisa? Did you make it in? You're the only other one right now that's not in. But you were having the same issues that.
Yeah, actually, well, I just downloaded Firefox really quick, and now I'm in through Firefox.
Okay, well,
we're good. Thank you.
I'm going to share my screen now. Vika, I think that, just as I said before, keep watching. You're going to still learn a ton, and then you'll be ready to do it when you can get your computer to work with City College stuff. Okay. And ask me after class. I can give you a few more indications. Maybe I can try to help you with it. But right now, just keep watching. All right. So everyone's in. And here we are. You should be in front of a screen that says Google sign in. Unless you've already used this before, like if you've already signed into these courses before, because you're in one of my Photoshop or Illustrator classes, then you might already know to go in and sign in down there. Okay. Phew, your screen is a bit different than mine because you only have Recycle Bin and Google Chrome. You don't have these guys, okay? But this is, we're all in the same spot, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, we need to sign in to the Google Drive for desktop. Click in there, and this time it's your username, but it's a bit more. It's username at pipeline.sbcc.edu. It's that name that I told you you have to use. If you go by, it's your whole entire email. And I just go ahead and put it in there. Use your username, of course, not mine, but it's the at pipeline.sbcc.edu that I just put in the chat.
Okay.
Put that in there and then say next. And then you wait. And in a minute, you'll be told that you're in, as long as everything is working. Yeah. So once it says welcome to Google, you're in. You don't need to go into any of this. It'll take you down a, bottleneck. Just close this window. Just click this little X down here to close this window. You don't need it. And that's it. That's what you want to see. All right. Yeah.
Yes, you put the login name at SBCC.
No, pipeline.sbcc.edu.
Oh, pipeline.
It's, yeah, go to in the chat, I wrote mine and you can see it there, pipeline.sbcc.edu. Yeah, it's at pipeline.sbcc.edu. Okay. So, remember I told you that the first day, this whole thing takes time. That's fine, don't worry. This is what you need to practice. So for everyone that I said you need to practice getting on and getting off 10 times, it's this process. It's signing into VMview, desktop, Google, sign in. And this is it. Now we're ready to open the programs. Now, one thing, we're going to practice just because at the end of class, we might forget. We're going to practice how to sign out of Google Drive and then sign in again. This is really important. Why? This is what's going to give access to the file. Remember shared drives, my drive just sounds familiar. This is what we just accessed the other way. The shared drives is where we have all our files. Well, if you don't sign in every time, things get corrupted. You know what? I'm going to wait until, I'm going to wait just to sign out until the end. I won't have a sign out again. Just know that when we're done working with the programs, we also need to sign out of the Google Drive file stream every time. And then every time you open up and you sign in, just like we did today. So forget what I said. You were first going to open the programs. All right. Yes, Justine?
So I was there and then I was being smart and trying to move ahead. And I tried to sign in with my regular Gmail address.
Oh, not through here.
Pipeline one. But so now that I've gone back and tried to get to that, I'm on the screen, the blue screen with the window, but it's not bringing up the Google sign in.
Okay.
Because
so,
it told me it didn't recognize me on this device.
Yeah, because you're at school. Remember, you've driven to school, and the school's like, no, what Gmail are you talking about? This is school. So
I'm at the point now where I don't know how to get to that. Google
okay. So let's do the following. This is what I said I was going to teach later, but since I need to show Justine, it works anyway. Watch.
Okay.
I'm going to put a little colorful tip on my mouse again, so you see me better. There we go. So head down to the very bottom right. I'm going to make my screen a bit smaller so that half my screen works for half your screen. There we go. So head down to the bottom right corner of your screen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you all see this little up arrow?
Mm-hmm.
Tiny little up arrow. By the way, if you ever need to see what I'm showing bigger, this is another thing I want to tell you. You know how at the very top it says you are viewing Diana Musacchio's screen or something like that? You know how you see that up on top?
Yeah.
Okay. Notice that on the right of that, it says options. There's like a little button that says options. If you click on those options, it'll let you zoom in and you can see my screen bigger, the portion of me. Okay. So that's what you see right to the right of you are viewing Diana Musacchio's screen. That options lets you zoom in my screen. Okay. So we head down to this little arrow, open the arrow by clicking on it, open this little box by clicking on it. Once it's opened up, there's lots of little tiny icons. See if you can find the one that looks like Google Drive. This little icon here, that's Google Drive. If you hover over it, it should say Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that one, Justine? Does everyone have that one?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Click on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if someone has not seen that, this is what we need to do every time we end our sessions. We need to sign out of the Google Drive file stream. Okay. Now, in Justine's case, she needs to sign out because in here, for most of us, it should say DE Musacchio, but for her, it shouldn't. It does not. Yes.
It just has the square that says Google Drive sign in.
Yeah. So
for me,
for you, you need to sign in with your pipeline account. For everyone else, it says their pipeline. Check and see that it says your pipeline. If it does, we're fine. If it doesn't, then we need to sign out and sign in like Justine is doing.
And it's your, sorry to belabor this, but it's our individual pipeline account. right? with our
Yes, yes.
username
So
and
it's your
at-
school username at pipeline.sbcc.edu. Okay, so it's your username at pipeline.sbcc.edu, and I just put it again in, oh, pipeline, I did that wrong. Ignore that. Your username at pipeline.sbcc.edu. I think I typed it incorrectly now in the chat. There it is. Okay. Okay. So that's how you access it later. But for now, that's how you change your thing. Okay. Is everyone with me? We are ready now to make, to open up our Bridge, Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign. So
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that little box at the bottom still.
did you click on that box at the bottom?
I didn't see which one it was because I'm sorry to backtrack on that.
That's okay, but I'm showing it again right now. Do you see this little up arrow at all on your screen? What I'm showing, do you see what I'm showing right now?
Down there. Oh, okay, sorry. Thank you.
No, that's fine. And then there's your Google Drive. Now, right now, I was just checking if everyone is in their pipeline account. At the end of the day, at the end of the class, at this point, and not that many more minutes, we're all going to sign out using this icon. Okay?
I'm in.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
You. Got it.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to open up. So now everyone who's been waiting out, who's at home, who has, all their programs open, if you have them open, now we at school are ready to open our programs. So how we open a program on VDI, you go over here to this, well, no, let's go further. Let's go one over to where it says start, and you click on the start window. And here you have a whole bunch of programs. Since we are using Adobe, this is really cool because all the Adobe ones are at the front. They're the easiest ones. There's the top ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with Adobe Bridge. So let's open.
I'm sorry, where's the start?
Okay, move my mouse way bottom corner left over here, the start window. This is a Windows start key. Windows people know it. It's just like the Apple on the top left for Apple. It takes you to the Apple stuff. On the Windows, this is little icon, which is the Windows logo, takes you to the Windows programs that are installed. And as you can see, maybe Alan, you can have fun here with other stuff in Adobe that you haven't downloaded yet, that you don't feel like downloading. You can play with them in here. All right, so here we have Photoshop, here we have InDesign, here we have Illustrator, and here we have Bridge. But as you can see, all of these programs that you're reading are all available to you if you sign in, if you have your own Creative Cloud account, or you can do it right here with VDI. Okay, so we're gonna go and open Adobe Bridge 2021. See how some programs are still in 2020, like Audition and After Effects are still in 2020 version, but others are already in 2021. So Adobe is creating the new versions as we speak slowly. Sometimes they skip a year. Some programs don't update every year.
I'm sorry, Deanna, are we opening Bridge if we're doing VDI?
Yes, everyone is open Bridge.
All right, thank you.
Everyone is open Bridge. And once you open Bridge, your screen might not look exactly like mine. So be patient for a second. I'm gonna talk to you guys about Bridge, but it probably opens, I'm not sure where it opens by default. I think it opens over here. So when you open up Bridge, it opens up like this little box in the middle of your screen showing you stuff similar to mine, but not necessarily like mine, right? But as long as this thing that opens up says BR at the top left, you're in Bridge. If you see down on the screen on the taskbar, you should see a little BR, and next to it, it'll say the word desktop or documents or whatever you're in, right? But it'll say BR, a little icon. If you're at home and you're on the Mac, then down in your doc, you would see the BR opening up as well. And I'm gonna at some point try to, how many of you guys are at home and on a Mac? Can you, I don't wanna, you're at home? No, sorry. Sorry, that was my mistake. Everyone's at home, or maybe you're at work, but everyone is kind of at home. I mean, when I kind of say at home, understand that I mean on your own programs. VDI is you're at school. So if you are on your own programs and on a Mac, Bonnie, and probably Alan, you're on a Mac, aren't you? I think you are. No, maybe you're a PC. I don't know, Alan, if you're a Mac or a PC. Okay,
yes, I'm on the Mac.
You're on a Mac, yeah. And Pilar, I think you're on a Mac as well, right? And you're on a, no, you're on a Mac and on PC. Okay, never mind. A lot of people aren't. So if you're on a Mac, then your screen actually looks more like, let me, I'm gonna change my share for a second. Let me share this screen with you. So if you're on a Mac, I'm sharing a Mac screen right now. Oh, I don't know why this is, I put on a draw. Clear old drawings. Sorry about that. If you're on a Mac, then if you head down to the bottom and you get your dock here, then you'll see the little icon. Like if you open Bridge, it's gonna, if you have it on your dock, that's fine. If not, to find it, you need to go to your search icon and write Bridge, and then Bridge will open up. And when it opens up, right, so mine opened up, it probably will open up also kind of floating or doing some weird stuff in the middle of the screen like that, okay? So now my request to everyone is, if you have a little floating bridge, either on a PC or on a Mac, I want you guys to maximize it. So now I'm sharing my Mac version. Go to this left side on a Mac version and click on the green plus sign so that it expands to fill your screen, okay? So that's what you need to do if you're on a Mac version. And now I'm going to go back to the PC version. And on the PC, the same exact thing is on the right-hand side. And it's this of, they have the X, the little box, and the flat. This is the maximize button. Please click on that maximize button so that the program fills your screen.
Diana, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to run and I just want to make sure I sign out fully. So I did the Google Drive and then quit. Is there anything else that needs to be done?
Ooh, I wish you hadn't done quit,
Oh.
which is fine. It's never mind. That was the most important thing, but you had to sign out of your account versus quit. At the beginning of next class, you're not going to find the Google Drive icon here because you quit it. It'll have disappeared. So you're going to have to do a search. You're going to have to go to the search, maybe do it later this week, and you're going to have to search for Drive files stream and have it pull up. And yeah, it's, yeah, sorry, I didn't know you had a lever. I would have shown you that. Yeah, when you quit here and you actually go here and do a quit, then it disappears from this little box. So next time, instead of quit, we're going to go to preferences and disconnect account, which I'm going to show at the end of class. But for now, since you've already quit, you're going to have to find the program first to be able to sign in. If you're lucky, maybe it'll pop up, but I don't think it pops up once you've quit it.
Okay, so how do I log out?
And then you can just close your tabs. That's the important thing, is to quit that. If you have time, you can log out one by one of all the other things, but if you just quit later, watch the end of this recording and then I'll do the long version of quitting. But the important thing is the Google Drive. Okay. All right. So guys, here we are in Bridge, and what we're going to do today with Bridge is open it up, set it up so that we all have the same workspace and have it ready to open up all of our Digital Design Techniques files, okay? So no matter if you're in a PC or on a Mac or on VDI or on your own home computers, what you need to do here on the top is make sure that you have the essentials clicked. So maybe you have something like this that says keywords, or maybe you have something that says like one of these might be clicked or something like that. I want you to go to the word that says essentials and click on essentials. Once you're in essentials, if what you're seeing is relatively similar to mine, that's fine. Now, the content of what you're seeing might be different, but if the window looks a bit like mine, like on the left, you see favorites, and on the right, you see preview and publish, like you're seeing little boxes of stuff here, is fine. Otherwise, if it's very different, then at the end of this strip of names, there's an arrow. Click on that, and then make sure that it still says essentials here, and then say reset workspace. And this is only for people who have been using their workspace in a very different way, and we want to make sure that we're all equalized. Yes, Justine?
I don't have that string of words at the top with essentials and keywords. And all that.
Do you have one of the words that says one of these that
No.
has an arrow?
No.
Share your
Otherwise, it looks fairly like your setup there.
Okay. I'm going to stop my share because we need to find out where yours is, because you need to find the essentials, even if it still looks similar. Go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. Wait.
Okay. So,
Is it
all right. Yeah. So your window is smaller than the
Yeah,
one
I
I
have it
have.
done,
And
it's a
so
lot bigger.
when that happens, there's things that are collapsed. So go over here to the, it's okay. You can,
No, it's- I was
well,
saying,
now that
it's
you,
there.
now that you opened
Because
it,
I
you
had
see it. Otherwise I was going to show you where to get it, but there you go.
It's because
So
I had
as
it
soon as-
squished small to try to see half and half on my small
Yeah,
screen.
yeah, that's what you need to do. That's fine. But sometimes there's other ways to access it, or you have to stretch it out for a little bit. But there you go. Now go to that little arrow next to essentials, and that's how you access, the reset or whatever for the workspace. But yeah, but you're fine. This is where you're at. So now you can
Is there one of those that I'm supposed to?
reset in case it was very
Reset?
different, but yours is not, so it's fine.
So just
You
leave
got
it.
it because you're in essentials. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks.
Oh, and so stop.
So
share.
guys, see how quick it was for her to just show me? I was instantly be able to see what was wrong, versus if you don't share, I can't see what's wrong.
I got a little behind.
Mhm.
Where you open the window and get the bridge. Do you double click on the Adobe Bridge 2021?
I think I just single clicked.
Yeah, single click?
Yeah, maybe it's double. I think it's a single click and it opens. Yeah.
But it didn't open anything. Okay.
Show me, share your screen.
Okay.
Maybe it's a double click then, but I think not.
And then I went here.
Oh.
And right here.
Yeah.
Just double click?
Yeah, your bridge is open. Hold on. Don't double click. Your bridge is already open. Stop.
Okay.
Move your mouse out of that. Because you see down at the bottom where there's a word that says welcome, and then in the right, it says BR desktop.
Oh, yes, yes.
Click
yes.
on BR
Okay.
desktop. Click on BR desktop.
Right here.
Yeah,
right here.
There's your bridge. Problem is that you still have this window open. So go up to where it says welcome to Google Drive, and to the right side, there's a little X. So go down with your mouse a little bit. See where it says stream Google Drive files right to your, see that?
Right here?
No. The big window that has the vase and the coffee cup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right here.
So close that window. Yeah. So yeah, from that X. There you go. And then
oh yeah.
Okay. Close that window too. We don't need that window either. Okay. And by the way, I'm so glad you said this because I forgot. No, stop. I forgot. I forgot. This is perfect. Some of you guys have this window now. I forgot because I don't get it, because this is you signing into Adobe Creative Cloud. So thank you so much for showing me, Patricia. I have you need to sign into the Adobe Creative Cloud. One more time, you need to put in your email address. So Andrea, Becca, Lisa, anyone who has not been in my classes before and has not taken any of the Photoshop classes, you should be seeing this when you opened up Bridge. A big sign in. you need to go again, put in your username at pipeline.sbcc.edu because this signs you in to the Creative Cloud. This is a one-time only today, and then you never need to do it again. Have you, I see Justine nodding like she saw it, but I don't know the rest of you guys. If you,
Yeah, it did come up for me, and I just put my email address in and it was fine. So I didn't see
Yeah.
it.
And then continue.
and then continue. Yeah, so if you, that's signing into Adobe Creative Cloud.
Can you
I have-
please share the link, please, again, to try?
That's just your, it should pop, when you try to open Bridge, it should tell you, see what she's showing, that it had a window that said sign in to the Creative Cloud, to the Adobe, and she had to put in your pipeline. And now you have this window. Go ahead and say close to this window. Just close that window because it's trying to teach you Adobe Bridge. So go down to that button, say close, yeah. And then you'll be in Bridge. If that window didn't pop up for you and you're in Bridge already, that's fine. But Becca, I think you were not there.
No.
Okay, so since Patricia's in there, can you share your screen to see what's happening with you? This is, as I told you before, this is the part that takes some time. But I want to get you all, but we have another 15 minutes of class. I want to get you all to the place where you can have everything signed in, everything ready to go, so that next week we're up and running. So Vika, are you sharing your screen? Do you need some help to share your screen? You need to click on the big green button that says share screen, and then you need to click one more time on another window pops up with little windows, and on the bottom right is a blue button that says share that's got white letters. And that's the second share you need to press to share your screen. Yeah, Justine, the class goes to 3:45. Becca, are you trying to share your screen? You said that you needed help, that it wasn't showing, and I asked you to share your screen, but I'm not hearing you because your sound is off. So are you speaking to me? I'm not sure if we lost your connection or whatnot, but you're not speaking and you're not sharing. So I don't know.
Actually had a question. I typed in my email and it said, sorry, something went wrong. And I'm positive I've typed it in correctly. And it says it's likely an issue at our end.
Oh,
but
God.
Could be that you're not connected to the internet, but obviously I'm connected to the internet.
Oh.
Have you come across that problem yet?
No, this is very frustrating. I have not. And by the way, I've just noticed that I've had my video off this whole time since I've tried to connect, which later when you see the recording, it's very boring because you see like this shape, because I don't share all you guys' faces. I only share my face in the video. So next time you see that my video is off for a while, please remind me to put it on again, or otherwise it's the worst video ever. You'll just see a box talking at you. Unless I'm sharing my screen. So anyway, Liz, go ahead and share your screen. I have no idea what is happening. Veka, I was trying to reach her, but she's not, I don't know what's happening,
Yeah,
but Liz.
can you repeat, please?
Oh, so now Lisa's sharing her screen. I was trying to see, okay, so it's likely an issue on end, but it could be that you're not connected to the internet. Please check your connection. Okay, say dismiss. And try to open Bridge again, because it's not letting you into the Adobe. The first time you sign into an Adobe program on VDI, it's going to ask you to prove that you're a student. So this window comes up. See how she's sharing it? So this is where you need to put in your thing. So put in your username again at pipeline.sbcc.edu. And this is a one-time only. You'll never have to do this again. It did quickly say no account associated with your internet. Oh, all right. Okay, guys. I'm hoping today is the day that everything that can happen will happen, and that way it won't happen anymore. But she's done this twice. I watched, unless she's made a mistake with her username, because that I don't know, but the second part was fine. It said there's no account. So again, try this tonight, try this tomorrow. If you keep getting this problem 1 or 2 more times, then definitely you need to connect to the tech support where they need to see what's up that your account is not letting you in. It won't help you because this isn't your computer, Lisa. This is a school computer. So even if you try to fix the licensing stuff, this is a school computer. So there's nothing you personally can do about this issue.
Okay.
Okay. So basically you need to go, if this keeps happening to you, you need to go try it 1 more, 2 more times. If it's not like right now that you're having an issue, if you disconnect from VMware, come in again and you do this in a few hours, or you do this tomorrow and it's still not doing that, then do connect to the Zoom link that I sent you that I'll send again in an email, and then tell them, hey, my Adobe is not letting me in because all of the programs we're going to use are Adobe, and this is your sign into Adobe, which you all need to do once today and then never again, but you need to do it successfully at least 1 time.
Okay, thank you.
Right? Okay. So keep emailing me, you guys, if during this week you're having issues with getting in, so that by next Friday, you're all in. You know what I mean? Becca, you were not able to get in either. Can you tell me what your problem is, or do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, well, I was not neither able to get in, not in the pipeline, the Google Drive.
Yeah.
Basically nothing.
Can you share your
Neither in the
can you share your screen with me, because I hear you saying you can't get in, but I need to see.
Okay, give me a moment, please. Okay.
Thank you, everyone who is hanging out and being patient. And we know that that will all, trust me, those who don't know me, you see there's a lot of other people who still come to my classes. So trust me, it works. I will get you there. All right. So you're still not in VDI at all.
I closed it because it was not letting me.
Okay. Go ahead and try to do VDI with me watching to see if there's something I can do. Go ahead and click on where it says search Google or type a URL, right? VMview. No space. VMview.edu. Okay, try to go there and let's see what it shows you. I'm gonna. And it's probably just, especially with you sharing your screen, it's going to be even slower. When you did this before, it didn't let you in?
No, it was access denied or something like that. I put my username and my password.
Yeah. So listen, let's do this. Same as before. For both your pipeline and for this, you need to get help from tech support. If something's not working and they can't help you, try to get to them on Monday so that you have a whole week to try to figure this out.
And also I was trying last night in the other Chromebook, in the one that the school borrowed me, and I was trying also to log in on it, and it was saying me the password is incorrect, and I just had 5 chances to put it correct and kind of blocked me.
Okay, so then that's 2 different issues. You first need to get your password handled. So I'm gonna in the email, I'm gonna send again Emma's email. Okay, and she can help you with your password and account. And also there's another email called scladmissions.com.spcc.edu. They can also help you with your password. So once you know your password and account are working, because that's
but
that's
you
necessary.
know that it's weird because I had it in a note, and I tried to log in into the other Chromebook, and I was able to use that password. And then when I tried again, it was not possible.
That can only the tech support people can help you to discover whether it's a password issue or it's a Chromebook issue. So I'm going to send you all the links to get this tech support. I can help you next week once we get into Illustrator, Photoshop, and all of that. But to get there, it looks like you need some help beyond what I can help you. Okay. And so anyone who's been having issues with their accounts or with VDI, VDI, I was having issues with it. Might be that VDI was being wonky this afternoon. So try again tomorrow and see. But if it's password or connection issues like yours, Becca, which is your whole account, you definitely need to get through to SBCC tech support. So guys, here on the left side of Bridge, I'm gonna have you guys navigate to the right place for your files, and then after that we're gonna close everything correctly. And tonight, basically from now on, we're ready. Now you just need to open up and open InDesign. If you don't want to close out right now, you want to explore these programs, then when class is over, go to that same start screen, right?
Are you going to share your screen? There you go.
Yeah, it's sharing. It just it's slow today. Then you just go back to your start screen and you open Photoshop or InDesign or whatever, right? So we're there. This was the last step, signing into Adobe. Now all we need to do is open the programs and start working. So that's what we're going to start next Friday, okay? But if you open another program, so say I'm going to say open, and I'm going to open now, for example, InDesign, which is one of the ones that probably most people have not opened as much. So when I say open InDesign, and when it opens, I also want you guys to practice expanding that program so that it opens like you did here, like making it maximize. And then after that, once it opens, you can switch from program to program using the taskbar here, or for Mac people, the dock down there. So InDesign of all the programs is the one that uses, in fact, surprisingly enough, more resources. It's the one that takes the longest to open of Photoshop or Illustrator. InDesign takes the longest to open, interestingly enough. So here's the request. Practice, practice, practice doing what we did. Those of you who got in fine today, you're probably fine with all your accounts. All you need to do is practice getting into this point. Those of you who had issues with your account, fix your issues. And everyone practice at least 10 times to get to the place where you open up your InDesign, your Bridge to start with, and then open up Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign, just to make sure that they're working and opening up on your computer. You still don't know how to use them. Some of you do know how to use some of them, but just test. See how InDesign is taking forever? It does take forever. It's not that it's broken. InDesign takes a long time to open. When we use InDesign, we'll just use it in InDesign. When we're using Illustrator and Photoshop, they both work together well. So the first time you open them, it's going to say, what's new? And all that kind of nice stuff. You always need to just kind of close that window unless you want to follow through and replace them. And then just go ahead and close these windows, and that's it. Now you're in InDesign, and then you can open Bridge, and then you can open, not Bridge, Illustrator and Photoshop. That's how I want you to be ready to go next Friday at 1 p.m. with your signed in to VDI, signed into Google Drive, and with Bridge opened up. You don't, you can have maybe you can have InDesign open, but it's okay. So now let's close out of all of these step by step. First, let's close your programs. If you didn't open InDesign or anything else, that's fine. I'm going to close it. If you want to stay playing around after class, don't close this, but watch. Then we're going to close Bridge also from this X. If you're on a Mac, you quit. And then this is the key. The key is to sign out of your Google Drive each time before you leave. So go down to this little same arrow that I showed you before. Click on your Google Drive icon. Go to the little gears icon. Do not quit. Go to Preferences. Preferences. And then from Preferences, you can disconnect your account. Okay? Disconnect your account. Are you going to sign out of Google Drive? Yeah. And now you're back to needing to sign in. This is how we want to find it next week. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, Justine?
So when I went to sign out, it brings up a window that says your Google Drive data, including files marked available offline, will be removed from this computer.
That's fine.
Is that
this
right?
is the
Okay.
school computer.
Right.
It's
Okay.
going to erase everything you leave on it. unless whatever we put into the drive, and I'll show you how to do that next week.
Okay.
So
perfect.
the desktop is being cleaned out. That's the idea. If you were in another, remember you drove to school, you open up the lab, you don't want your stuff lying around in the school lab. Every time you sign out, the computers get cleared out. That's what's happening here. And don't worry, we're not going to save our stuff here. We're going to save it in the drive so that next week you will find your work. But this desktop is being cleared out by doing this. Okay. That's the idea. And the one problem we've had is if we don't sign out of Google Drive, when you try to access the files next week, they're all corrupted. So by signing out next week, they're fine. If not, they're corrupted. So that's this step is the most important one. Okay. Now, after this, you can either at this point be done and just close the tab. I've been told that it might be better to sign out of VMview and the desktop. It didn't seem to help today. It still was hard to connect, but to do that, I'll show you the steps after I answer Justine's question. Yeah, Justine.
All right, so I missed it. It happened kind of quickly. So from the bridge interface window, did you say we can just close it with the little X in the upper right corner? Okay.
Yep. Next week, once we navigate to our files and once we have our things open, it'll automatically be in the right place. Right now, just close it, close your programs, sign out of Google Drive. That's the key. And then at this point, if you see this little kind of tab over here, and you don't have to, I mean, most of the times I just close this tab and I'm done, I walk away. But tech support told me it might be better if I disconnect from VMI as well. So to do that, click on this little tab and see how here it says student desktop. So it's a tab that here on the, it's hard to see mine because I have other stuff there. Let me move these little icons out of the way, but you guys should see that little tab there. Click on that tab. And then here you can say close or log off from the student desktop. Are you sure you want to log off? Say okay. And then the last thing is to log. You have been disconnected, say close. And now go up to the top horizon and log out of VMview. I usually don't bother with this, but they just told me it might make a difference. So I do it now, and then I'm back to 0. Okay. All right. So I did ask some people to stay if they needed more help. I think it was mainly with the accounts, but I'm noticing, well, Lizzie, we need to figure out your registration. So are you still here? Yes, you're still here. So you hang out a little bit longer while I go in and see if I can figure out what's wrong. If you can, 5 more minutes. Veka, you need to figure out your accounts with tech support. Veka, you figure out your accounts with tech support. And then everyone else, Lisa, she already knew. I'll send emails. I'm gonna mute Lizzie. So everyone else, if you have issues with your accounts, you check in with tech support. If you have issues with anything else, hang out right now and ask me. Other than that, you're welcome to sign out. Watch the video for any little bit and look for an email that I'll send you with direct links to the videos reminding you how to sign into VDI. A little, 6-minute videos. They're short, not like the whole 4-hour class. Little videos showing you exactly what you need to do this process that I need you to practice and have it be comfortable with it by next week. Okay.
Thank you.
So
Diana.
Thank you, Diana.
bye to everyone except for at this point for sure Lizzie and anyone who wants to listen in. You're welcome to hang out.
Thank you.
So you're welcome, guys. Becca, try to get yourself set up because yeah,
I need it.
yeah, definitely. I can't help you from here, and it's one thing not to be able to get the files, but when you can't even get the programs or anything, yeah, there's you need to get yourself some support from tech support. Okay.
Okay, have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Yeah. One thing is, Becca, one more thing I'm thinking, if they say they can't help you with that Chromebook because it's not a City College Chromebook, then what you can say is, well, then I need a City College Chromebook, and have them give you one, and then you'll have one for the other college and one for City College.
Yeah, that can be another one. And the positive thing is, as you say at the beginning of the class, I will have 2 screens to work on.
That's true. That's true. So that's a
Okay.
possibility. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
bye-bye.
Bye. All right. So Lizzie, I emailed you where you sent my sign up app. Oh, well, there you go. That gives me an inkling. You didn't sign into the class yourself. You sent in a form. Is that what happened? Because if you send in a form, that, yeah, so then someone on the other side has to get your form and sign you in. So you aren't yet registered into the class, probably. Let me get my email to see what you sent in. Versus if you sign up yourself, you sign up instantly. But if you, here's your Liz Savage, you sent a form to admissions. Okay. So that's the problem. They just didn't send you in. They didn't get you into the class yet. Now, do you have, did you tell them what class you were trying to sign into? Let me see. I'm looking at the form that you sent. Give me a second while I scroll down. CRN 67322. Yeah, DigitalDesignTechniques. So, so here's the issue. They didn't get to it yet. I'm going to follow through and say, hey guys, she can't get to the stuff because she's not registered. So you sending in the form, like if you register online, you register yourself, you're in. But if you send in a form, a human has to get it together with all the other forms they get and slowly type everything in and let you in. And so they just didn't get to it yet. Okay, so that explains it. So I'm going to forward this to them and ask them to please make sure that you're in, but by next week you'll be in, right? But I'll do that anyway. I'll put my little stamp on, hey, get her in quickly so that she can get to the files. Okay. And that's it. Once you're in the roster, your files will pop in. Okay. That said, the issue with the fact that you can't talk because we can't hear you, that might be a slow connection or something. Have you done other classes before? Have you found that this is happening with you with other classes before, or have you always had a pretty good, get a camera on another computer that's better? Okay. If not, try and see if you can get a booster for your Wi-Fi or something, because whenever you spoke, all we heard was like we couldn't hear you. And if you need to ask me questions, it's going to be hard to always be, I mean, you're welcome to keep typing. I'm reading it, but if you want to be able to speak, it might be easier for you to, if you had a stronger connection. But other than that, you're welcome to always write, and that'll still be fine. Okay. I think that was the only issue with you, that you weren't registered, right? Other than that, you were able to get into VDI. Were you able to get into VDI? Trying to remember, there's so many people that had issues. Right. So was no, because I want to use a better computer. Oh, so you didn't get into VDI? Okay. So once you're okay. Were you already a student? Were you already a student? You have a pipeline account? Or is this a new registration completely to the whole college? Yes, you've been with me before. What class did you take? Your name, I mean, it's not an easy name to not, I mean, how many people have that last name? So I thought so, but my brain lately is compromised. So funny, when people are in person in front of me, I have a very visual sense of memory and I know everyone, but here on screen, it's harder to remember people. 2 years ago. Okay, great. Was it one of these art Photoshop or one of those, or was it like Mac or Office, or do you remember? Because I teach so many different things, or InDesign or Illustrator. Cool. All right. So yeah, sounds great. Sounds like if you have your pipeline account and everything, all you need to do is be in the class and then everything will be fine. And then your sound issues, either we handled it this way or nothing else. Okay, cool. Well, thank you then. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you next week. Bye.